set time, do we? Here on the Soup and Meatball Show. Tim's over there. I'm right here. Tim, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm repping my famous, long-standing fandom of the White Sox. Big Harold Baines guy over here.
They're doing better than the other Sox, but I don't know. I was. We'll get into this later, but I'm just happy the game was rained out yesterday. Honestly.
Yeah, and I went to the dentist this week. I've maintained my lifelong streak of never having a cavity.
Good for you, man. That's impressive. I've had two that I remember, but I mean they weren't like we caught them like they weren't like super bad. I mean, you don't want to get a cavity filled. That's not fun, but it's my mom had real bad dental issues. She had root canals and stuff, and she was not a good patient. We'll put it that way.
I am unlike the Cal Ripken of dental hygiene. I intend, like when they're like, if they have to do an autopsy on me, they're going to be like, this guy's teeth are something else. Look at this guy.
Gold standard.
My hygienist did tell me I have perfect molars.
Good for you.
This isn't a platform for me to brag about my teeth, though. How are you?
Sure it is. So I have two teeth things that are kind of interest, I guess. So question, did you ever get your wisdom teeth taken out?
Fun fact, I was born without wisdom teeth.
Amazing. So my dentist up in Hazleton said, oh, you're never going to have to get them out. You're fine. Now, growing up, like getting your wisdom teeth out, there was like fear there for some reason. So I'm like, cool, if I don't have to, I'm not gonna. Fast forward, I'm married 6 years, and the dentist out here in Chambersburg is like, this wisdom teeth here is like sideways, and it's decaying at the bottom because you can't brush it because it's in your gum. So we really should take it out or it's going to cause all kinds of issues. I'm like, all right, yeah, take it out. Getting your wisdom teeth taken out at 31 years old, bad move, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Get them taken out when you're 15 or 16 and you have like more recuperative powers. Let me tell you something, that sucked.
That reminds me of a joke from The Simpsons where Mr. Burns gets shot and they're like, he was taken to the hospital where he was proclaimed dead. He was then taken to a better hospital where his condition was upgraded to living. You had a dentist who were like, yeah, no, you don't have wisdom teeth. And then you went to a better dentist who upgraded your condition to, no, you have jacked up wisdom teeth.
Stop not brushing them. That, and the other kind of funny thing is, so my father-in-law will go to the dentist, and I think the last time he went was after like a church event. And so he dresses mad up when he goes to church, and he wears suspenders. And the hygienist commented that he dressed up with suspenders for his hygiene. So now whenever he goes to the dentist, he has to wear suspenders because that's what one wears when one goes to the dentist.
Right.
Did you wear suspenders?
What did I wear? I wore gym shorts and my DB Cooper t-shirt.
If it wasn't suspenders, you're doing it wrong.
There were suspenders. No, there were not.
All I can say about that. And speaking of doing it wrong or doing it right, the NBA Finals opened up this week, and I'll be honest with you, I did not expect to start this week's show with the New York Knicks having a 2-0 series lead in the finals. 13-game winning streak in the playoffs. This is a heck of a run they're on. And I mean, aside from the final score, I don't remember a ton about game one. Game two, I can talk about a little bit. Get into this, man. What do the finals look like for you? And
wow. I'm in the same boat. I figured San Antonio would win at least one on their home floor, and that they would not be going to MSG down 2-0. I think everyone's been a little disappointed in what we've seen out of Victor Wembanyama, or what we haven't seen out of him. He especially in game one, he was a little more steady offensively in game two, but even there, he's floating around the 3-point line. He's floating around the elbow and the foul line. and he's not really mixing it up inside. Uh, they're completely taking away any kind of lob to him off the roll. Honestly, I think their best option offensively has been Dylan Harper, who, they've probably used the word fearless a dozen times in each game to describe him, and it's very apt because you can't, he's going to get to the rim, and the fact that both games he wasn't on the floor at the end when he was the best offensive option. I don't know what they're getting from Keldon Johnson. The
Not
Spurs are
much in
kind of in
game two.
disarray right now.
Yeah, I mean, when people talk about how the Knicks have performed, they like to start and talk a lot about Jalen Brunson, rightfully so. But Karl Anthony Towns is the MVP of this series right now. Not only the way he's playing defensively against Wembanyama, but the guy's bringing it offensively as well. And I think that's taking part of Wembanyama's energy. Like they talked about in the Oklahoma series, he could rest defensively because Chet was being Chet.
Yeah.
He can't do that against New York because Cat is really playing out of his mind, even out on the perimeter. So Wembanyama's got to burn that turbo button on both ends of the court. And you're right. I mean, the guy's 7'5". They haven't been able to get like an establishment on the inside with him. What really got me, so yesterday or game two was Friday, and I was at a movie, which we're going to talk about, and then I went to a carnival to see the kids. So like I saw bits and pieces of the game. From what I saw of game two, it really looked like a NBA Finals game from the 90s because San Antonio's perimeter defense, I mean, dude, Castle was all but like hugging Brunson. They were hand checking. I'm like, I thought this was illegal. No.
Very physical and like making it tough to even get into the front court.
Yeah, so like the Knicks, this was especially during I think the Spurs went on like a 14-0 run in the fourth where they really made the Knicks had what you would imagine was a comfortable lead. That went away and the Spurs took the lead. The defense they were playing was very physical and it wasn't reciprocal. The Knicks weren't playing like that. And I won't get into how interestingly the game was officiated, but New York didn't shoot a single free throw in the second half until there was 2.5 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And in that same span, I think the Spurs shot 10 foul shots. Not saying that, maybe the Knicks weren't as aggressive. The Knicks had a hard time being aggressive because of that physical defense. But there was one spot I saw the highlight of this that it was Karl Anthony Towns was called for a foul, an offensive foul. He didn't have the ball, but he was getting tackled. I don't want to bitch and moan about the officiating with the Knicks up 2-0, but there's a little bit of bitching and moaning about the officiating because it looked one-sided to me. I don't know about you.
I will say this. If the Spurs are going to be allowed to play physical defense like that, and still lose on their home floor, this is going to be a short series. I mean, if the Spurs couldn't win in that circumstance, we could be looking very reasonably at a sweep.
Now, so I'm not going to go that far, but if the Knicks win the next two games, is this the greatest playoff run we've ever seen? 15 in a row. Like the last time they lost was game 3 of the first round. I don't know when that was. It was early April or something.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I would say this is the greatest run, certainly of my lifetime. But I think we have to make the distinction between great teams and great runs.
Oh yeah, I'm not calling it a great team.
Right. I think that's what makes this so remarkable is that the Knicks were one of like 3 teams who were even considered to get out of the East, let alone
if we go back to the show in February or March when this team was as inconsistent as possible. Oh no, this is not an all-time team at all, but right now the run they're on is
Unbelievable.
amazing.
Winning, game two aside, winning by double digits every time.
Yeah. Well, it was
Winning,
it was the 14-0 run that, if New York played 50% better during that run, they might have won game 2 by 10 points as well. But yeah, the double digit wins this run is, and some of them aren't even close.
yeah, and winning 8 in a row on the road. And game two, we talk about the Spurs were physical, the Spurs were on their home floor, and Brunson did not play well at all. And
No,
the Knicks
he didn't really shoot all that well in game 1 either.
No, not until the fourth quarter. He heated up, but he was having pedestrian.
Game 3, if Brunson gets started early, so here's one of the keys to me. Who wins the first 6 minutes of game 3? Because if the Spurs fall behind, they fall behind by 8, 9, 10, and Jalen Brunson is going off, that building might explode. There might not be a game 4 because they're going to have to find a new place to play. If San Antonio, like you said, if San Antonio can't control things at home, which, I mean, the Knicks fans traveled well. It wasn't like Indiana or Cleveland, or they didn't travel like that, but there was still a lot of orange in that bowl in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But if the first 6 minutes, if the Knicks pull out to a big lead, they might win game 3 by 30.
Well, and there are two things working in the Spurs' favor here, in that they've been fast starters to games, and they've been good on opposing teams' home floors. They've been good on the road in these playoffs. We saw it certainly in Game 7 against Oklahoma City and Game 1 against Oklahoma City.
Game 5 and Game 7.
And
it was Game 6 instead. They lost Game 5.
Right. They've been resilient. They had those moments of doubt where it was 1-1 with Portland after Wembanyama hits his face on the court. And, it was like, oh, my God, did we lose Wemby to a concussion? It was kind of touch and go early on with the Wolves when Wemby gets, ejected for the elbow. They were down to, their last strike against Oklahoma City, like you said, down 3-2. So
they performed a lot better. They performed over the course of the entire year. I heard on the radio, and what do I know about anything, that they were built to beat Oklahoma City, and they did. They weren't built to beat the Knicks. Well, why would you build yourself to beat the Knicks? Why wouldn't you build yourself to beat the defending NBA champs? That's the only thing. If you look at over the course of the year, the Knicks are 4-1 now against San Antonio, including just a disgusting 40-point win during the Spurs 11 game winning streak. The other thing that game 3 storyline wise, and not to get overly political here, but the big news that Donald Trump is going to be in attendance for game 3. Now, what does that mean? The Knicks had to issue a statement on security.
Yeah.
To fans that are coming, you have to get to MSG at least 2 hours before tip-off, if not earlier.
Yeah, they're telling you to basically expect like you're flying, like to expect like TSA level security. They're not. They don't want you bringing bags, any loose items, like as little as possible. They're like, just don't bring it to MSG.
I've seen the police presence for game 1 and game 2 around MSG for what they call the watch parties.
They're not allowing watch parties outside either.
Well, you're home, so you would imagine they're a little less. But that aspect
are going
of
for
it,
$10,000.
I looked. The lowest was 9,006, which is weird.
Oh, that's
Plus,
a deal.
you have to pay the fees and things like that. But if you're going to the game, you're going to have a little bit less money to spend on beer because you had to buy a ticket. And one of the questions on the radio was, all right, if you're a partial season ticket holder and you have a ticket to game 3, would you rather go to the game or potentially sell it for $20,000? I think if your choice is to go to the game, you are going to be loud the entire time, regardless of who is there, regardless of how fast either team starts. That building is going to be rocking, and I think it's a good thing for the NBA, obviously because it's a big market, but it's an interesting story because the Knicks haven't been this close really since 73, because 99 they weren't close at
Since
all.
'94, they went to a Game 7 with the Rockets.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
And they were up 3-2 on Houston, if I remember right. So they had two chances to close it out.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and again, like you'd said, not getting political here, but you do wonder what the energy in the building is going to be like. You know what it would have been like under normal circumstances, where, like you say, it would have been just the crowd going nuts. There's going to be un.
I don't think it can't be feasible. He can't have courtside seats. He has to be in some
In a
kind
box.
of luxury
Yeah,
luxury suite. So, that'll be fine. The tough thing is, if you're ABC, how often, if at all, do you mention the fact that, oh yeah, he's here? Because that drawing that kind of focus away from the game, I think you mentioned at the beginning, and then that's it. It's like Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl.
I think obviously they're going to mention it at the beginning, but I do think there will be a few shots. Like if things are going well for the Knicks, there will be a shot to see, the president's reaction. Because so much has been made about him being a New Yorker. I'd put the over under of like shots of Trump in the luxury box at like.
I'm going 4.5.
I was gonna say 4.5, like
That's
4.5 to
fair.
5.5.
And I think that's an interesting bet, over or under, because the one year it was probably Philadelphia, Kansas City. People were like, "Oh, it's going to be the Taylor Swift show." I don't remember her being mentioned at all, and she's on the same level celebrity wise. So, but yeah, we'll see. Tomorrow tip off 8:30 on 807 for me. ABC, wherever it is for you.
Do you have a prediction for Game 3?
Yeah. I'd like to think the Knicks coming home, they win big. I think I'm gonna take the Knicks. I'll take them by high single digits, 7 or 8.
I the Spurs are too good to get swept. They have to win one of these. I think the Spurs win Game 3, but I think they lose Game 4.
We will see. It's tough to think. It's interesting to think about here. Getting in a little bit of baseball here, and this is like your favorite time of the year, isn't it?
I voted earlier this week.
Speaking of not being political, you voted? Did you vote every day now, or just the once?
I vote every day that I remember to.
Okay. Well, let's vote together here, because I did my vote, and I went with who I felt was the most deserving, but then I threw in some names, like honestly the National League shortstop. I don't know where my thought was right there. Maybe I didn't go with the best possible player. I just went with the name I wanted to see.
I think I went with Ellie for National League shortstop.
Well, okay. Well, we'll get there. Let's go through catcher first. Catcher in the American League. I thought there was a really now. Why did I lose catcher here? Why did it go right to first base?
I went with.
Here's catcher.
I went with the guy from Oakland, Shea.
Langeliers.
Yeah, Langeliers.
Okay, so we're 1 for 1. I mean, if you just look at number wise, dude's got 16 home runs. Oakland is right. Oakland, no, darn. Sacramento is right in the middle of
the San Luis Obispo A's. How could you forget their long-standing ties to the city?
Yeah, either way, they're right in the middle of a division race. Yeah, I went with Langeliers as well. National League, where'd you go?
I can't remember if I went Will Smith. Maybe. It's funny because I took a screenshot of my ballot because I thought it might come up, but now if I go at my photos, it'll
Ah,
freeze
see,
me out.
that's why you need your bills. Um,
Yeah,
I went with Wilson Contreras basically because I know he's a good defensive catcher, and number wise, the National League is pretty clumped. Throw in Milwaukee leading the division, so I went with Contreras there. Um, but if I'm looking number wise, I mean Will Smith with the Dodgers especially, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong picking a Dodger almost anywhere. I
Yeah.
think so. That's fair. So first base in the American League. This is really tough, and you probably know where I went. Where did you go?
I only remember where I went in the National League because I voted for Harper with it being in Philly. I wanted
I
to
went with
see.
Harper as well.
Yeah.
It's not that it's just in Philly. It's like he's having a pretty good year.
Right. His numbers are there, but like a guy like that, he's getting older. The All-Star game's in his home park. I thought it would be just. I
Totally
can't
fair.
remember which way I
So
voted in
in the
the.
American League, you've got Nick Kurtz out in Sacramento, Jonathan Aranda in Tampa, Murakami in Chicago, even he's hurt right now, but still that's a massive name. Vlad Jr. in Toronto is still not having a good year number wise, but it's Vlad Jr. He's almost hitting 300.
Right, and if you that's how these votes are. You can either vote based on like, oh well, this guy's got the best numbers, or you could vote on star power.
I went with Ben Rice. I think Ben Rice is, yeah, it's a homer pick, but he's Triple Crown winning in New York. He's their leader in batting average, home runs, and RBIs right now. So it's not like I'm picking a guy from Kansas City who's hitting 216 right now.
Yeah, he's very worthy. I mean, we talked about him last week as being, right up there with Judge in terms of most reliable bat and Judge, obviously had his struggles. So yeah, very, very, very worthy pick.
There we go. Second base in the American League. This one was where I voted was kind of tough. I went with the guy from Cleveland, Travis Bazzana, and I really don't know why.
I didn't go. Boy, I know my shortstops. I know. I can't remember who I voted in at second in either league though.
Oh, that's fair. So just so you know, in the National League, I went with Ozzie Albies. Again, picking a Dodger or a Brave is pretty easy.
Yeah, I went with Albies in second in the National League. Now that you say that,
I think here now that I'm voting, I'm voting live with everybody. I think I'm going to. Let's see. I gotta get back here with this. Where are you, Wilson Contreras? I'm going to revote second base. I'm going to get away from Cleveland and I'm going to go to Toronto. And I'm going to give Ernie Clement a vote. He's hitting 306. So there you go. American League shortstop. Who do you got?
that was a star power vote where I just wanted to see Bobby Witt.
That's same here. That's who I voted for originally. That's who I'll vote for right now. Although I will say Jacob Wilson and Jeremy Pena in Sacramento and Houston, they could give you an argument at least. And he is not an all-star, but I'll say again, Jose Caballero in New York, I like him a lot. I really do. Not an all-star though, not even close. National League, you said you went with Ellie.
I did. Yeah,
that's who I did too, and really because he's fun to watch, and I think in a star power game,
you can hear like hot dog sales go down. People hold their bladders for a little bit to see what's he gonna do.
There you go. How about third base? Remember third base?
Third base. Oh my gosh, I don't.
That's okay. So I went Junior Caminero in Tampa, but you looking at, I mean, Isaac Paradas from Houston, Jose Ramirez from Cleveland. If you're looking for big names,
right?
No further. And
It's
in
fun.
the
I'll have to send you the screenshot I took 3 days
that's
ago just for this purpose.
and so in the National League, I went with Nick Gonzalez from Pittsburgh. Um, no other reason than he's hitting 315.
I don't know if maybe I would have gone with.
Who
No,
else do we have? I mean, who else do we have to go with at third? Nolan Arenado, Bo Bichette, Alex Bregman, Matt Chapman. Manny Machado has 11 home runs, but he's hitting 172.
I was gonna say I didn't go with Machado just for the name, did I?
Max Muncy, 14
I
home
voted for
runs.
Max Muncy.
That's fair. I can't argue with that. It's another big name, and he's a Dodger, so you can't go wrong.
And he's got like like 13 home runs?
Yeah. And now here's where things always get kind of tough. I think both outfields were. I mean, you get to pick three guys, but there's a lot of guys out there that they're right on the cusp. Guy like Cody Bellinger, who's having a unremarkable year number wise, but one of the reasons why New York is in the playoff race, I didn't vote for him. I voted for Byron Buxton in Minnesota, Carlos Cortez in Sacramento, and some guy who's on the injured list right now, Aaron Judge.
I voted for Judge. I'm trying to remember who else I voted for in the American League.
Julio Rodriguez was hard to say no to. Mike Trout is again
He
he's
a
near the end of the
start.
Yeah. But again, if you're looking just for names, I think that you can't go wrong with Mike Trout.
In the National League, I know I went with Wood from Washington.
Okay.
I might have gone Pages because he's putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Otani's a DH, but I mean,
Otani was we'll talk about that. That's the other really like, oh my gosh, what are we doing over here?
I can't remember who my third was beyond Wood and Pages, though.
I voted for Pages. I voted for Jackson Churio in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Who is at 282 for first place team. And then I voted for Ronald Acuna again. That was a name thing more than anything. He had been hurt for a couple weeks in May, but he's back. And I think outside of Otani, he might be the best player in the National League.
Oh my God.
When he's healthy.
Yeah, you look at last year where he was hurt for a long stretch and then came in and just went on an absolute tear. He's just, he's right up there. We were talking about Ellie De La Cruz. Acuna's right up there for most fun player in baseball to watch. Like he's one of five guys. Judge, Otani. Acuna's right in the conversation.
If Acuna was 6'7" with like predator dreads, he would be he'd be talked about more, I guess.
Yeah, probably. A guy, whether
look
he's
at
a
that
baseball
guy.
player or not, 6'7" with predator dreads is gonna, be an icebreaker.
Catches some attention. American League DH I thought was pretty easy. I went with Yordan Alvarez. He's in MVP talks.
Yeah, he's tearing it up.
I don't think there's. I mean, looking at the list of other people here in Tampa, Yandy Diaz is a discussion at 326 with an 11 home runs. But yeah, Yordan was easy for me. In the National League, it's a little bit tougher, and I'm going to change my vote this time because I voted for Otani the first time.
We've got breaking news.
But I think Kyle Schwarber, again, because it's in Philadelphia, it's not like Schwarber's having a bad year. It's not like this is a pity vote.
And if Otani doesn't hit, there's this other thing he does pretty well.
A little bit, yeah. He will be on the squad one way or the other.
Yeah, they'll make room for him.
This is the part of the process that's a bugger. Let me scroll down to 1978 as I tell them all the important metadata about me. I would not like to receive commercials from you. And there, I have voted and voted again and voted again. And I have 3 more votes remaining. We'll do this. So Ben Rice gets 10 votes and Kyle Schwarber gets 5.
Stuff in the ballot box.
They make it easy. They make it easy. And post your screenshot underneath the little link here on Facebook. We'll see how you remembered versus what you actually did. The other thing that's, I guess, relatively intriguing in the world of Major League Baseball, I don't know why Jeff Passan is looking at the trade deadline right now, because the trade deadline is August 3rd. Let's get out of June 1st.
Yeah, normally you want to get out of that's talk at the All-Star game about who could get dealt.
I will tell you just right now, he has, for Boston, the objective is to ensure that this team really is as mediocre as it looks.
I can assure you.
I don't know what that means. And it mentions that the best player potentially available is Aroldis Chapman, so it looks like Passan is saying Boston is going to be sellers, which, okay, fine. They have the Yankees looking at Tariq Skubal, which he also says if anyone doesn't need Skubal, it's the Yankees, but that's who their best fit is for him. I think that's ridiculous, but
we had talked about Skubal to other places. I can't remember if we'd said Milwaukee.
Milwaukee was not. So the list that I had seen included the Dodgers,
the Braves,
maybe the Phillies, but this was the Phillies, and I wanted to talk about this. This is a good time. This was pre-Don Mattingly Phillies. Honestly, when the Phillies fired Ron Thompson back on April 28th, they were 9-19. That was the worst record in baseball. Mattingly takes over, and since then the Phillies are 25-10. They're winning a 71% clip. That's the best record in baseball over those 35 games.
Yeah, it's just their bad luck that they're in the same division as the best team in baseball.
Yeah, well, in terms of playoffs. Let's see where Philly is, because they have to be right in it now, because they're only 9.5 games back of the best team in baseball. They're a wild card team right now.
How many divisions would they be leading? None in the National League. I don't think they'd. Certainly not the Dodgers, and probably not the Brewers.
No,
but
so they'd
probably be leading or contending in the AL Central and AL West.
With a .531 win percentage, they would be ahead in the West by a half a game. They have one. Seattle has one extra loss. They both have 34 wins. They would be tied for second, 2 games behind Cleveland.
So they'd be tied with Chicago?
Yeah, they have the same record as the White Sox. And they would be, I guess, 3 games behind the Rays, 3.5 games behind the Rays.
Huh.
But, yeah. Mattingly's come in, and, holy cow, man. Can an interim manager win Manager of the Year?
This isn't unlike 23 when, the Braves won 104 games. The Phillies got the wild card, and then the Phillies, you get the Rhys Hoskins spike in the bat, and they beat the Braves in the playoffs. They go on to lose to Houston in the World Series.
I want to show you something, because this is one of the things I'm trying that's a little new in terms of video here. Hopefully this doesn't totally destroy our stream. But one of the big stories over the last 7 starts or whatever it was, Christopher Sanchez lost his scoreless streak, 50 2/3 innings. Check out what the umpire does, though. This is kind of nice.
Yeah, I saw.
You saw this? Okay, so here it is. The RBI single.
There's a base hit to left field. Marsh gets to it quickly. Rounding third, heading for home is France. The throw
there
to the
goes.
plate is not
easy
in
run
time.
scored.
And the Padres have tied the game up at 1. And Christopher Sanchez is finally allowed a run after 50 2/3 innings. And
So here's the umpire.
Umpire
Cleaning off the plate. And this is baseball right here. The fans just, the guy with the Padres shirt on, fans just letting them have it. Like, done this. And I think this ovation went on for like 90 seconds, which in the world of baseball is a lot.
Yeah.
So look at it. He goes up and he cleans the plate a second time just to let him soak it in. That's a good ump move right there. Look at that. Look at him smiling there. Like, that's something. Good for that ump, whoever that is.
That was one of my big takeaways, was how much that moment seemed to mean. You know, like you'd said, the smile on his face, you know, the fans instantly just giving it up. Just a great moment for baseball.
He came close to Drysdale and Hershiser. Only 7 1/3 away from Drysdale, 8 1/3 away from Hershiser, which just tells you how crazy those streaks are, because the streak that Sanchez was on just felt magical for him.
Yeah. Do you remember?
I'm blaming John Mattingly.
Do you remember Hershiser's streak in '88?
No, I was 10, and if it didn't happen in New York or in the Daily News, I probably didn't. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. If Don Mattingly had a scoreless streak, I'd have known about it.
I can remember it because it was the talk of this week in baseball.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. He might have gotten a mention in Twib notes.
I also don't remember Don Drysdale's 58. So.
Yeah, me neither.
I was negative 10 years old. I was negative 10 for that one. Oh my gosh, excuse me. In terms of if you're looking at Major League Baseball, whoever had the best week since our last show, Seattle capped off an 8-game winning streak. They lost to the Mets of all teams. The Braves have played well, but I mean it's hard to say anything else than the Dodgers, who were 6-1. They've now extended their lead in the West to 8 games. The Padres are 2-8 in their last 10. Honestly, at this rate, the Dodgers might clinch that division by the All-Star break. So,
and it's funny how, you know, we've talked about in the NBA how deep the West was compared to the East, and it's the same in baseball, where the National League, it just feels like the champion's going to come out of, you know, either Atlanta or LA or maybe Milwaukee, or you know.
Which feels like, you know, where we're standing with the NBA, it feels pretty good for the American League then.
Right.
If you escape that gauntlet.
Someone made the point, you know, the NBA, for all the talk of the West being dominant, is one Tyrese Halliburton Achilles away from having 3 straight Eastern champions potentially.
Yeah, fair. Not an Achilles injury, but in New York, the Yankees are dealing with Aaron Judge, going to be out for, it says, 4 to 6 weeks. And it's the ripple effect that it's going to have with the Yankees. It's not just Judge's offensive production. It's not just the leadership in the clubhouse, the defense, and all that stuff. It's what he does to the lineup. You know, I mentioned Ben Rice is having an all-star season, hitting in front of Judge. How do pitchers react to him? How do pitchers react to the rest of that lineup? They historically have not done very well without Judge in the lineup. I think they win at a clip of about 52%. So if Judge is out for 40 games, which is about 6 weeks, if the Yankees can go 21-19 over those games, they would be at 58-46, which means they're right in the heart of the playoff race. We'll see how the Rays. I mean, the Rays have been abysmal. They're 3-7 in their last 10, which really kept New York close. Really, everybody in the American League East hasn't been. They've been kind of there. They're average over the last week, but the Yankees have to survive now. They over the next 60 or 40 games, rather, the next 6 weeks. They've got 2 series with Boston. They've got the Dodgers at the end of that time frame, so he might be back, but he might not. We'll see. You got Cleveland and Toronto in there. Those are tough games. But then they also have what I write down: the White Sox, the Reds, the Tigers, the Twins, the Rays, the Nationals. Those are teams that the Yankees should be able to compete with, especially with their pitching, the pitching depth that they have. like I said earlier, like I'm not sure that School is in need right now. I mean, it'd be great, but I wouldn't overpay for him. The Yankees have to tread water, and 21-19 is not out of like it. I'm not asking a lot here. I'm asking for a game or two over 500. Anything above that, I think, is gravy. We'll see. The Red Sox still dealing with injuries, and according to Passan, they should be in sell mode. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like a lost season. You know, they've you know they've been outclassed since the season started. They've never really shown any kind of signs of life. So I don't know where they go going forward. They have young talent that they might want to get a look at. Uh, you know,
That Mayor
I
kid.
yeah, at short, and if they can ever get Anthony healthy, it just feels like a bit of a lost season. So to
As
sell to
lost
get
as it is,
what's that?
as lost as it is, you're 3 games out of the wild card right now.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, it's hard to be hardcore sellers when you're that close, and that's what this wild card has done for good or bad. I don't know.
Right, but that's the thing that all these wild cards. There are 20 teams that could say the same thing, that they're either leading their division or we're only within 5 games of a wild card.
Yeah.
To me, it's not to be too pessimistic, but it's false hope.
That's fair. It's false hope kind of leads us into the NFL, and false hope for fans in the greater Chicago area. I don't know if you saw this on Thursday, but the Bears board of trustees or board of whoever, the board of McCaskies voted, and the likelihood of them staying in Chicago is decreasing day by day here. They're closer to moving now than they ever were. And I don't know how much of this you saw. Did you see any of this?
I mean, I've followed a little bit that they would be in Indiana, like 20 miles from Chicago?
So, it was like 14. So like as the crow flies, it's fine. But the thing that they have to do some logistical stuff. They have to do site selections in northwest Indiana. But it's the first time the board voted on it, and they're looking at, was it Wolf Lake? I wrote down. Primarily because politics in Illinois, they didn't want to give the Bears tax incentives or new funding. The Bears ownership was willing to put $2 billion into the stadium, which I don't know. Feels like it should be enough for a building, but I guess not. The NFL would need to approve this relocation. That requires a league vote. The site approval in Indiana, financing, and a lease structure has to get finalized. So it's not in stone yet, but it's being carved in clay, and they're getting ready to put it in the oven. Put it that way.
I saw something, because this is very endemic of the NFL, like specifically, where of major sports leagues in North America that have teams that play outside of their city limits.
There's a bunch of them.
The Bears would be either the 9th or the 10th in the NFL. So nearly a third of the league does not play in their, in their city.
What they're called. Yeah.
And that was something like twice as many as the NBA and Major League Baseball combined.
That's nuts. But I mean, honestly, I don't attend NFL games. I'm a couch fan at best. So that part doesn't bother me. But, I mean, this is how a franchise kind of sells off its soul or whatever. And you're not talking about a random like Carolina or Tampa. This is the Chicago Bears. They're a founding franchise. And if having them move to Indiana, it doesn't bother me. But the old head fans, I could see them, you're turning this into an asset as opposed to it's not a civic institution, but you know what I mean? Like the pillars at Soldier Field, the freezing cold off the lake, but the way the NFL is now, currently, you have to be able to generate revenue with your stadium outside of those 8 or 9 games that you get. And that means corporate suites. That means NFL or NCAA Final Four. It means concerts and all kinds of things like that. So what's really going to bug me about this is the concept of putting a dome on this stadium, which is what they're going to do.
So let me ask this, just playing devil's advocate. Dome aside, just looking at the geography, is this that much worse than the Jets and the Giants?
No, not. I don't think so. But how often do you hear it's teasing? Like they're not the New York Giants, the New Jersey Giants. It's like a random Ohio State fan calling me a Walmart Wolverine because I didn't go to Michigan. So why am I rooting for them? Well, I don't care where the Bears are playing their games. I'll still root for them. I still want them to win. I think the fact that Soldier Field was part of their identity. It was part of, it was part of who they are. But I mean, right now, that doesn't mean anything. The NFL is about how can you get people in the seats? Will they get a Super Bowl? Because that's the other thing. Why you build a dome. I think they'll be fine fan wise. I mean, look at how many times the Raiders moved. The Chargers were fine moving from San Diego. The Rams found success outside of St. Louis. It's right now, like I said, it's up in the air, kind of like our audio right now. But hang on for a second here. Okay, maybe I'm muted and unmuted. It didn't matter. I'm still staticky. I think that it gives the Bears a more modern financial structure. Whatever that means to me, I don't know. We'll see. We'll continue, though, our look, our deep dive into the NFL as we approach training camp in the next couple weeks. We are examining who we think are the most important players on specific teams, and we're going to focus on the AFC West today. I have mine listed alphabetically, but Tim, I will default to you. Where do you want to start?
Did you go alphabetically by team name or by town?
City.
Okay. So
but you wherever you go is where I will follow.
I'm going to go alphabetically by team name, not by city. I'm going to start with the Chargers. What's that?
Well, you wouldn't start with the Broncos?
No, I'm being contrary. I'm going to start with the Chargers.
You're not starting alphabetically anywhere.
No, I'm starting alphabetically by like mascot, by Charger.
I know. Well, isn't Bronco ahead of Charger?
I don't know the alphabet. You would be correct. Let's start with let's stick with the Chargers. I'm going to double down on my wrongness.
The alphabet is fake news.
I'm going to go alphabetically by people who I picked because I picked Joe Alt of the Chargers.
That's fair. I like that.
Yeah.
That's never admit defeat. Joe Alt was my honorable mention. Okay. Justin Herbert got sacked 54 times last year. And, you've seen how much the offense struggles if Herbert is playing through injuries like he did last year. So I went with the blindside tackle. I went with Rashawn Slater. Joe Alt is a stud. But last year, I think Slater missed some time with a torn patella tendon.
Yeah.
And you could tell that's when the drop-off started. Alt is like the all-pro on the line. So that's an absolutely that's a fair pick. I think Khalil Mack on the defensive side, holy cow, he had a resurgence coming back to the Chargers, and I know Harbaugh likes to win on the interior. So both lines, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Alphabet.
I was just going to say, I've been really high on Joe Alt since he came into the league, 22 or 23.
Fifth pick, and he's all pro caliber. Yeah.
Yeah, missed, I think it was 11, 12 games last year with the ankle. Just as a fan, I'd like to see him back healthy and, kind of playing, the way he's capable, and I think, especially, if he's back healthy and the Chargers are competitive, that just makes that division more intriguing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This division, outside looking in, I when we do our schedule, we go through picking games. It's going to be tough for me because honestly, outside of Oakland, let's be honest, I can see any team winning this division.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City's due for a bounce back.
Denver's Denver, and
Denver almost went to the Super Bowl.
So cool. Well, where are we going next, Alphabet Boy?
Let's go with the next team in the Tim Hare alphabet. Let's go with the Raiders.
The Raiders, that's fair. I mean, what's funny is we're going backwards almost alphabetically. Las Vegas would be before Los Angeles, but who do you have for the Raiders?
I'm going to go with Max Crosby.
I went with Max Crosby too, but probably for a different reason.
I'm just curious. Health wise, like what does he have? What can he give them?
I wrote down the most important player, Max Crosby in trade value, because he's still a stud at edge if he's healthy, but that meniscus tear, you don't know how much that takes away from the first step. They tried to trade him. They got 2 first-rounders from Baltimore before, that got rescinded. Las Vegas is not in win now mode. So, and the way I GM, if I can't win now, I want to set myself up as best as I can for 2-3 years down the line. The intriguing, important factor is really Kirk Cousins, how he mentors Fernando Mendoza. But we said he had to be a non-quarterback. So the non-starting quarterback is getting that maybe that year of seasoning. He's not getting thrown into the fire right off the bat, unless Cousins gets hurt or whatever. But it's an intriguing storyline outside of quarterback, what Crosby can do health wise.
And I think it's intriguing to see. Does getting traded only to get sent back, does that fire him up?
Yeah, I think he likes Las Vegas. He likes being a Raider.
Yeah, it seems that way.
But I mean, I like doing a lot of stuff too. But if you're hurt, and it's the leg injury on top of it, like I said, that the first step that the edge rushers get off of the snap that Crosby's really, really good with, how much of a step back does that cause? I don't know. Good pick, though. Good pick. It's a good pick because I picked it, too. Where are we heading now?
So I'm going to naturally go with the third letter in the alphabet. Now I'm going to go to the Broncos.
Oh, okay. Broncos now. The third letter, ACB.
Obviously.
I mean, the Chiefs being a C doesn't make any sense, but...
It's like you never learned basic phonics, man.
I
did. So much of what Denver does is predicated on defense. Patrick Surtain, the best at what he does.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with him, even though I have an honorable mention who you might as well.
Oh, who's your honorable mention?
The fact that they brought in Jalen Waddle from Miami, just to give Bo Nix another, little toy to play with.
Yeah.
We'll see what that does for that offense, which was kind of inconsistent in 2025.
So I wrote down their best player is Pat Surtain. Defensively is how they win. But I like the fact that Waddle's there, and I think he's going to actually help my honorable mention, Cortland Sutton, who top 15 in yards and touchdowns. And I think if Waddle gives the defense something else to worry about, I think their wide receiver one becomes all the better. So, and yeah, like you said, giving Bo Nix just an extra toy to play with is important in Denver. But yeah, they're going to win and lose on defense. I think that if they didn't have the best defense in football, they were definitely top 3.
And it's funny because even though it was Drake May in New England who went to the Super Bowl, I think it's Denver and Bo Nix who are in a better position to
challenged again.
Repeat that success. I think New England could have a fall off.
That's fair. Well, speaking of success and fall off, that brings us to the last team in the division, Kansas City, and coming off a 6-11 year, not what you would expect from an Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes team. Who do you have as the most important non-Mahomes?
I really want to see what they do with Kenneth Walker. Just how they use him and what kind of numbers he puts up in that offense.
I think the other big thing defensively, when you lose Trent McDuffie and you spend the 6th pick on Mansour Delane out of LSU, there's going to be a lot of pressure on a rookie. I don't think he's the most important player. I wrote Kenneth Walker down as well, giving him $43 million. He had a 1,000-yard season splitting carries with Charbonnet. We'll see what he does as the show in Kansas City. I think having a running back like him is going to make Mahomes back to Mahomes, if that makes sense.
And, another name I'll throw out there, just because he was a guy who people seem to feel lost a step last year, is Chris Jones in the middle of that defense.
On the defensive side, sure. Good deal. All right, so that's our AFC. East, West, North, South. We got through it all. So next week we'll be on our home conference, and maybe we'll work backwards to our favorite teams. We go West, South, North, East. How's that?
I like it.
All right, so stay tuned for that, I suppose. We've now come to the part of the movie, the part of the show where we're going to ease out of sports a little bit, and we're gonna talk a little movies, and with no spoilers yet. No spoilers just yet. I will tell you that my sister came down to Chambersburg. First of all, she had to deliver my birthday present, which came frozen because she cooked some food. I've already forgotten to thaw some of it out yesterday. So Jen was like, "Did you try some of that?" I'm like, "No, I forgot to take it out of the freezer." So after I have no, it's not soup. It's ranch chicken and I don't know, some other stuff. I'm terrible. I don't remember. I just remember I was told I had to clear a shelf in my freezer for it. And I thought it was going to be like a giant tub of ice cream. And not that I'm disappointed that it wasn't a giant tub of ice cream, but, it's not ice cream.
Right.
It's like health food. But no, seriously, she came down to see the movie with me. And we went down to the mall in Hagerstown because I thought that might have been a place I could get one of those drink swords. But the coolest part of this theater, they had panels on the side. Did you get this too? When you saw it, did you have were there panels on the side of the theater?
No.
Oh, it's a bummer. So it wasn't quite IMAX. It wasn't like a beveled thing. But during certain parts of the movie, you got peripheral stuff. It wasn't important what was going on over there. It was just neat to be a part of that.
It was ambiance.
Yeah. And yesterday was a hard day for Derek. He had a double shift and he had to take the SATs. But when I picked him up from his second shift, I was listening to the soundtrack, which we'll talk about. And he asked, he's like, "Dad, did you see the He-Man movie?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, obviously. I'm breathing, sure." And he asked, he's like, can you take me to see it? So I was like, yeah. So we might actually go again today at 3:15. That's a possibility.
That's fun.
No spoilers. If you had to grade it A, B, C, D, F, what would you give it?
I'd give it a B- or C+, depending on my mood.
I went with a B. I said if you're a He-Man fan from the 80s, you're going to like this movie. It's not going to win an Oscar, but if that's your expectation of a He-Man movie, I don't know what to tell you.
I'll say this, and I'll try to be as vague as possible. I liked the opening of him on Earth more than I expected to.
Yeah, fair.
And when they got to Eternia, I found it more boring than I expected to. Like when they're like that section where they're just hanging out in the woods for what felt like 40 minutes, and I was like, can we get some action here? Like,
let's do some stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get to the point now. So if you're watching and you haven't seen He-Man, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to figure out where the stop button is or where the fast forward button is. I will keep this picture up throughout the entirety of the spoiler section, so you can't say that we told you, spoiler alert, Prince Adam is He-Man. I'm letting you know that right now. And if you didn't know that, then honestly, what are we thinking? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to get into is, ironically enough, what I really, really, really liked about this movie was the soundtrack.
yeah,
I liked the music score a lot. And we did this last week, but I'm going to do it this week too. We're going to pull out the phone. There's 2 songs here that are just kind of cool. This one is called A Job for He-Man. The score was written by Daniel Pemberton. Check this out. They called back the original cartoon music.
yeah.
Which was just, that was a nice touch for me. The other part, now Roseanne was telling me, she's like, did you hear like the subtle undertones? There was nothing subtle about that. That was the music. She heard it in other parts of the movie that I didn't. But this song, the other one I'm going to play here, the Masters of the Universe theme. This one, do you get a little Flash Gordon from this?
I was going to say, and for different parts of the score, Brian May of Queen did.
That's what.
Yeah.
I didn't know that during the viewing, and I'm sitting there like, he'll save every one of us.
It felt at
That's
times
where my
like
head
going
was.
through Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Flash Gordon into a blender. To give us this He-Man.
So musically, I've downloaded the soundtrack, and you know me growing up, I used to like, or I still like, instrumental soundtrack stuff. So musically, this hit for me pretty good. I would give the music an A+ almost. There was nothing in my head. There was nothing wrong musically.
Yeah, I liked some of the when he's in the back of the squad car and Four Non-Blondes comes on. Yeah, there were just like fun little like little winks and nods and song choices.
The next bullet point that I have written down here, there was a lot more death than I anticipated.
Yeah,
like full blown death, like main characters now. Main character deaths
in their
include
mouths.
Boss Man, who like didn't get a look really, like he was just there, and next thing you know, he was jelly. King Randor going. That was kind of shocking to me. Goat Man, who was more of a comic, I think. I mean, you asked me if I had the toy or like if I knew who Goat Man was. I did not. I still do not. But Goat Man going, that was kind of surprising. And then, yeah, we're gonna pull this stuff out now. King Randor died. The other one that you said, the grenade. Oh, where are you? Ah, here we go. One of the guys I drafted.
Yeah,
Trapjaw. And I thought Trapjaw was really, he was a badass in this movie until he caught the grenade in his mouth.
I liked his fights with Idris Elba. Him and Duncan. I liked their scenes together.
You mean Man at Arms?
Yes.
Complete with club? Yeah, so I came home and I pulled out my shout out to Bob and Miriam for not throwing these guys away. He has one shin guard, but Some stuff just lost to history. I thought the fights with let me get down because I wrote this down somewhere else. Here we go. We'll skip over a couple. We'll come back. I like the battle scenes a lot, but I wrote down there were a few too many stormtroopers for me. And what I mean by that is the unnamed whoever they are. Like the Palace Guard always had like the random no names. Skeletor didn't have a lot of random no names. But in this movie, he's got like the skeleton mask, hockey-looking guys that they're just fodder for He-Man to slice up. I thought there was a little too much of that. I would have rather seen, even if there were draws, because you can't kill off everybody. But the first Man-at-Arms Trapjaw fight, awesome. The second Man-at-Arms Trapjaw fight, awesome. You got a little bit of Teela Evil Lyn, that was good. Obviously, He-Man fought Skeletor, but like. The Fistos, where's my man Fisto? He's here, don't worry. Fisto and Ram Man don't feel like they got like a really good. It's like in wrestling they didn't get a main event fight. I think they were in the middle of a lot of the Stormtrooper stuff.
They were there for. And look, I love a good juvenile sex joke, but the fisting jokes. And, at one point when he says to Ram Man about give them head, and I was like completely unnecessary, just dumb. Like, look, and if they were completely unnecessary, funny sex jokes, I would be cheering.
My maturity level's at a 10-year-old, so I mean, I giggled. Of course I did. and let's be fair, they weren't marketing this to the 18 to 24 range. They were marketing it to us, so I think some of those Fisto jokes were they were fine.
Yeah, it looked like when I saw it in a pretty crowded theater, and
that's great. Yeah, so mine was not.
I would say my theater was 2/3 full.
That's great,
and it was all people my age or a little older, and it looked like orientation on the first day of like a nursing home.
When Roseanne and I were there, I think we were 2 of maybe 10 or 11 that were in the theater. We also went to a matinee. Did you go to a night film?
No, I went to a 1:00.
You went to the 1:00. That's right. I would like to see He-Man do well at the box office, only so that maybe a sequel is more guaranteed. We'll see. I also think that they're going to make a ton of money on merchandise out of this movie. Let's not pretend that the cartoons were like actual cartoons. They were 28-minute commercials for us.
Right, and this was co-financed by Mattel.
Yeah. So, I mean, not written down, but if you've seen the Mattel commercials for the toys, because there are toys, the stop animation is amazing. I think, like, I almost want to go buy the toys. I'm not going to, but they're really good. I think the toy commercials are good. Aside from that, back to the movie, I thought it was really funny how the guys got their names. Like, his name isn't really Fisto or Ram Man. Like, the fact that these names were invented by a 10-year-old boy, I thought that was a nice little, that's fun.
Yeah, like essentially a 10-year-old like trying to remember the names of like the people his dad worked with.
And when Teela when Teela asked him, she's like, "What's my name?" And he called her Warrior Princess or Warrior Goddess. I thought that was neat because when you bought the toys, like it was like He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Like this, he came up with like the subtext for Teela because I think Teela's her real name.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was kind of cool.
You know, it was like there was a lot I enjoyed. Just that middle third really dragged for me.
And I'll have to if Derek and I go to see it today. There's a showing at 3:15. I'll reconnect with that. The other two, like you call them Easter eggs or whatever. Anybody who didn't know who Dolph Lundgren was in the world of He-Man, I mean, he played He-Man back in 1987. Obviously, he was credited as Macho Man. Like that was his credit in the credits. So yeah, Dolph Lundgren coming in pretty strong at the gym with young Adam on planet Earth. He said the words "good journey" at the end, and that was like his catchphrase in the 1987 movie. I thought that was a nice little thing. And when Adam finds his sword on Earth, it's at this comic store. I don't know if you saw this, but the comic book store was called the Fright Zone.
I did see that. And apparently there was a shout out to Thundercats. I saw this on IMDb. I forget exactly what specifically. There's a little Easter egg planted for Thundercats.
Okay. I'll look that up before I go see it with Eric again, because that would be kind of cool. So aside from the 40 minutes of Earth or of Woods time that you said it dragged a little bit, did you have any issues with the movie?
Yeah, just some of the it sounds like nitpicking for a movie that I expected to be just fun and dumb and big and silly, which it was.
We're here to do.
But the tone felt all over the place, where it's like it wanted you to take it seriously, but not too seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's a fair assessment. I can understand that.
To the point where it was like, do you actually like the cartoon, or are you making fun of people who did like the cartoon?
I mean, I'm thinking of like Duncan Man-at-Arms. He loses this battle, and then he turns to booze. He turns to the bottle. I didn't know they had alcohol on Eternia, but I guess they do. And like the whole He-Man not using violence, which was a total thing back in the cartoon era, where like this dude has this awesome sword, quite possibly the most powerful weapon in any cartoon that we ever watched. And not saying that I wanted him to stab people, but that he was portrayed as, let's be diplomatic first. And I think that's what He-Man the cartoon was. But he sliced up a bunch of those stormtroopers or whatever, Skelewalkers, whatever they were. But it felt like preachy's the wrong word. But I could see where, like, let's be serious, but then let's be campy and goofy. The biggest problem that I had with it was it really deviated from what I consider to be the original OG source material. You see, where I'm from, fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull." Only 3 others share this secret.
I didn't like
our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. All right. Tell me why everybody in the Eternial universe needs to know that Prince Adam is He-Man.
And that was another
and they make a joke about it at the end. Like they're joking.
It's played as a joke. Like, we all know he's He-Man, right? Like, does he just think we don't know? Like,
the comparison I saw was The Rock on Saturday Night Live playing Superman.
Okay.
And if you remember that, like, he's got the Superman shirt like sticking out of his shirt and tie, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you've got to go to the bathroom again." That's okay. I think there was a way that you could send Prince Adam to Earth with the sword, without the entirety of like everyone in Eternia. The portal was cool because like they made a portal. Oh, that's how we got to Earth. That was fair. But the concept of him using the power sword on Earth, and that was like a remote signal to Tila to come pick him up. I have a real in my heart issue with Fisto knowing that Prince Adam is He-Man. I don't know. That's what dropped it to a B for me. Otherwise, it would have been an A movie. I was thoroughly entertained. In my inner kid, it was awesome. I just had a real hard time getting past that. He knows we know, right? Like, no, you shouldn't.
Well, and it's funny because there are a lot of parallels between Superman and He-Man. So it would be like seeing a Superman movie where everyone knows he's Clark Kent Superman. We're just gonna we'll let Clark go along with this. But you're right. What did you think about Skeletor? Because I thought they nailed Skeletor.
Awesome. So my next one, would you like the best? Jared Leto aside, whatever kind of human being he is, Skeletor stole this entire movie because he was, in my opinion, he was the right mix between the Alan Oppenheimer campy Skeletor and the guy with the skull face trying to kill everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They struck a perfect balance of like he was like the like a campy diva complaining about like this is the crescendo.
When I hold my hand in the air, that's when you say like amazing stuff. Amazing to the point where like I got a little merch. We can complain about the lack of He-Man sword, but I got the Skeletor cup, which came complete with a little standee. It's up in my room right now. Do I have a? Yep, we have a shirtless Skeletor here. I don't know where his body armor went, but there you go. A little bit of Skeletor action. Easily the best part of the movie, and the special effects. He was a skull face, like you see right there. They CGI'd him really, really, really well.
Yeah,
to the point where like Frank Langella might have had a more dark, like I'm going to kill everyone portrayal in '87. The look was off. This look was dead on for me.
Yeah, and there are two things within that I really liked with Skeletor. One, I liked when he was taking Adam through like the different parts of Earth.
That was great.
And he shows up
HR
in like a purple
Skeletor,
shirt, a purple tie, and HR.
It was so great. You know what that reminded me of? I don't know what WrestleMania it was, but the WrestleMania where John Cena fought Bray Wyatt in the Funhouse match, which wasn't a match. It was just like a 7-minute segment that was just built on entertainment where Bray Wyatt took John Cena on a tour of his career. When when Adam woke up, I was really like, oh, please don't make this a dream. Please don't make this a dream. No, it was the Skeletor nightmare mode. That was really, I like that. I like that a lot.
And I liked that when He-Man gives him a chance to talk it out. We've had so many of these like sympathetic villains like Thanos. Like people are like, oh well, Thanos like had a point in the Avengers movies, and it's like I like that Skeletor is given a chance to talk it out, and he's like, no, I'm a villain.
I like being evil.
Right, like there's no nuance to it. He is evil just to be evil.
It's kind of a callback to the Christmas special where they did the same thing and like he became Santa Skeletor for like 5 seconds. But I think he even in that episode, he said the words, I like being bad. Which, I can't say enough good things about Skeletor. Even the death sequence, post credit. I know you stayed I told you to stay afterwards. The last one was our friend Evil Lynn, who was definitely not as tan as she is here in the toy version, but Evil Lynn holding up the skeleton. Come on, arm. This arm hasn't been moved in a long time. Holding up the skeleton, saying, "You look better," and you got the laugh. So like, there's a lot of different ways they can go sequel wise if they're able to do that. The other one, I told Roseanne at the beginning, I wonder if they're going to do like at the end of the movie a moral of the episode, because that's what the big thing with cartoons. They got like Man at Arms or Stratos or Porco, whoever it was, to tell you, this is what happened, so that they could basically tell the government, this isn't a commercial. This is good for kids,
right?
Right? We're trying to tell them the right way. They threw that in the movie too, which I thought was pretty cool.
And I also liked, at the end when they have their little, like that last scene, that little coda there when there's a corny joke and they're throw the head back and like the freeze frame animation on the laughing.
The nice little callback. People our age, that was kind of cool. I don't like the fact, and this is just me. I don't like the fact that it was Orko giving us the moral. I noticed. Go ahead.
No, I like that. It was because we'd already seen Man-at-Arms. It was a nice little moment to have a character who hadn't otherwise showed up.
And I think that was the thing I didn't like about it. I thought if you're going to introduce Orko, having him as a character in the sequel, that could be the good guy storyline. Oh, we found Orko. We're helping Stratos and the aviation people. Like that could be one of the things they have to do. Whereas Skeletor now, because Skeletor has been killed or whatever, he's now down with Scareglow in. Well, there was a dimension that they referred to in the cartoons. I didn't write it down. I can't remember it. But like Scarecrow or Hordak might be able to bring Skeletor back to life somehow with their dark magic. And Hordak was obviously teased with the She-Ra ending as well, which again to me felt kind of weird because they gave her the sword of protection. She's standing outside the fright zone. And we went through a whole movie, The Secret of the Sword, about how she got that. So I don't know if that's just like, if they still kind of go that route, if the sorceress somehow finds her and gets her the sword. I don't know how they're going to attack that, but it's neat to see that at least that's a possibility that Hordak might show up in a sequel that I hope we get.
We'll see. I think they're, clearly just trying to set themselves up for the possibility of a sequel or a spin-off She-Ra movie.
I think that there's so much story. There's characters that were not in this movie. Your Stratoses, your Man-E-Faces, your Merman showed up at the end. I didn't even notice Merman. Roseanne did. There's enough character. Whiplash, obviously the entire Evil Horde. There's a lot of ways you can go sequel-wise. You can make this a trilogy. And I hope the director and the production team stay with it because the way it was directed visually, I thought it was really good. It was campy when it had to be, even if it dragged in the woods a little bit. And I was really worried about the amount of time on Earth. It was fine. Like that weird roommate that likes the Notebook, sure, I guess. But then if they brought him to Eternia for like that little cup of coffee, like, see, I wasn't lying.
I did enjoy when he's like, when Adam thinks he's dying and the roommate's like, kind of convenient that it's right when the rent's due, but whatever.
That's subtle little left. I like the exposition they gave about, Adam talking and it turns out it was a first date or a blind date or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So like you kind of brought that in. I mean, honestly, the one other issue I'm looking graphically, I'm looking at Castle Grayskull. The geography of where Eternos, like the palace, where that is in relation to Castle Grayskull, they should not be anywhere near each other. Castle Grayskull should be isolated above the bottomless pit. It's one thing that, He-Man scared the heck out of me when I was a kid. What if I find a bottomless pit? I'm in trouble. The fact that they were like right next to each other was Skeletor not really caring about conquering Grayskull. That felt kind of off to me. But it also felt like Castle Grayskull was part of the palace, and that wasn't the case.
Going back to you'd mentioned about the exposition being him talking to his date. That might have been my favorite joke in the movie when she's like, "I need to take this," and he's like, "It didn't ring." She's like, "No, I need to take this and go."
Go. Oh, that was a good time. So I'm holding to the B-. I'm going B. Really, just it would have been an A movie if the secret was still a secret. So we're gonna cut back to this. So if you're with us, the spoilers are over. I'm really glad that He-Man became another live action movie because now this might open the door to another live action movie. People are saying Thundercats might have a movie. We'll see. I don't even think that's even in discussions or productions. But I was talking to Derek about other 80s toys that have had movies. There's a long list. We could almost draft those. Not that we're going to. But there's a lot of 80s toys movies that exist. It's almost like He-Man being on the back end of it was kind of weird to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we had the Barbie movie a couple years ago, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles.
The Ninja Turtles. The Lego movie was remarkable.
The Care Bears had a movie back in the day.
The Care Bear movie was creepy as all heck, man. That book, we talked about the book. Scary thing. But the Transformers had like a dozen movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Good times. We'll see if I get to see it again here. It's list time. Are you ready?
This might be my favorite segment.
It might be. So we gotta. I have two things for the list, and one of them is loading up right now. You gotta give it a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Was that Mrs. Meatballs sneaking in the background?
Yeah. She's printing something off, assumingly for her book. She is not on the list. She is a wonderful human being. So the first one, no video for this because it is truly awful. I don't know if you saw this. WNEP posted a story about a guy named Adolfo Salas from Peoria, Arizona, who is a therapist for children with autism. Now, you and I have some experience in that world. I'll just say I have a soft spot for people on the spectrum. They showed a video of this guy and a nonverbal 5-year-old kid. The kid is crying while Salas is moving around this trash bin, and Salas straight up kicks the kid in the face. Now, the documents say that Salas told a coworker, "I accidentally kicked him in the face," adding he meant to kick a chair out of the way, but he hit the child instead. I'm not going to show the video. If you want to go watch it, you can. There's no chair anywhere near the kid. So this is just an example of some guy frustrated, and he acts out on a 5-year-old nonverbal kid by kicking him in the face. He has since been arrested on felony charges of child abuse and aggravated assault of a minor. Listen, Salas, you just made the list. And some people might come off the list, but no, that irritates me to no end.
Yeah, that's maybe the worst entry we've had yet.
And it was Peoria, Illinois, so like the fact that WNEP is reporting on it is one thing. Here we go. Check this out. Number 2.
Up.
Here we go.
Strike. 1. Hey, coach, when he comes set, they gotta start chanting. Is that a rule? Yeah. They can't, and yes. I'll explain it after.
He explains it after. He doesn't explain anything. This is so reminiscent of the PIAA telling the band, "Hey, you can't play." These kids are in Little League, or it's like it's youth baseball, and these kids they're just saying, "Hey, let's go batter, let's go bat."
Yeah, keep up the chatter.
We have to be quiet when the pitcher's pitching now.
This isn't Wimbledon.
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. How quick you want to kill the love of a game for kids? Like, we got to sit here all quiet, like it's school, and let the pitcher concentrate. Sorry, umpire, whoever you are, guess what? You just made the list. And he was proud about it. Like, he put it on his TikTok, like, "I did this." It'd be really fun at parties.
Like that, like, think back to when you're a little kid. That's part of the appeal of Little League is you just get to run around with your friends and you get to be loud outside.
Now, to be fair, my Little League coach, Gary Martasio, was a hardline, old school teacher of the game. He wasn't a coach. He was a teacher. He taught us situations. He taught us, how to play the game. He taught me how to bunt, which I really think I could bunt a major league fastball now because of that. He didn't put up with like a lot of garbage. You know what he expected out of us in the dugout? Like you said, chatter.
Yeah. He
didn't want us like zoned out or like stay into the game and cheer for your teammates. So this umpire is just, it's mind-boggling. That's why he's on the list.
And he's staying there for a week at least.
Yeah. I mean, well, I could see that umpire getting off the list. The other guy, absolute trash human being who is, don't even want to say his name anymore. Quick hitter time. Tim, are you ready?
I am very ready.
Number 1.
I didn't even know the alphabet earlier.
Virginia Tech starts with a V. Just received $75 million anonymously for what they're calling mostly athletics. Mostly athletics. This can only be good news for James Franklin. What do you think?
So mostly, what's the non-athletic portion going to?
I think like facilities. Well, it's still athletic facilities, but like non NIL money.
I mean,
But
look,
an upgrade to facilities helps with recruiting. So
it does. And look, this isn't unexpected. This is the part of the job no one's ever doubted James Franklin on. You know, the recruiting and the drumming up support and building enthusiasm for the program.
$75 million though.
You know, when people have doubts about him, it's in game.
It's halftime. So
yeah.
All right, number 2, Kentucky Derby winner. Golden Tempo wins the Belmont Stakes, the second horse in as many years to win the Kentucky Derby and Belmont after not running the Preakness, which is the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Did you pay any attention to horse racing this past week?
I didn't. You know, I enjoy it when I watch it, which is very intermittently. I've been to the Preakness, which was a lot of fun, but I wouldn't call myself like any kind of like hardcore. You know, I'm not like a side character from Guys and Dolls.
Fair enough. Number 3, speaking of things that I don't pay much attention to, but you can't say we didn't talk about it on Soup and Meatballs, the Stanley Cup Finals between Vegas and Carolina. Vegas in their third Stanley Cup since 2018, Carolina in their third since 2002. Check this out, man, though. Vegas has 4 goals in the second period. Carolina gets 4 goals in the third period.
Yeah, they went 2-2 last night.
We go to overtime where they went scoreless for 20 minutes. Second overtime, 5.5 minutes in, the Golden Knights get a goal, and they have a 2-1 lead. Shea Theodore with the goal. For a non-hockey fan, I mean, that's about as crazy a Stanley Cup game as you can get. What do you think?
It might not even been as crazy as Game 2, where it was 3-0 Vegas. Carolina took the lead. Then it was 4-4. Then they went to overtime, and Carolina won Game 2 in overtime. So it's been a very entertaining Stanley Cup.
I didn't pay attention to Game 2 because I'm a terrible person. But I will tell you, in Game 3, Vegas wing Mitch Marner recorded the fastest triple 3-goal hat trick in Stanley Cup Finals history. He needed 6 minutes and 10 seconds to score his 3 goals. The previous record was 6:21 by Maurice Richard, the Rocket, in the 57 Cup Finals. You remember the Rocket, right?
You're not thinking French enough. It's Maurice Richard.
Oh, then.
Oh.
I said you remember the Rocket then. In fact, you do. Number 5, obviously, my Facebook feed is now full of Masters of the Universe stuff.
Obviously.
And this showed up. You need to see this. There is a visual that goes along with this. It is a Skeletor and Panther Classic Deluxe maquette. I'm not sure what a maquette is, but there it is. It measures roughly 24.6 inches tall, 14.5 inches wide, and 24.5 inches long when fully assembled. This is made of poly resin. Here's a little closer look for you. Comparison with a human. I don't think she made it, but there is a human being. Tim, how much do you think this bad boy sells for?
I'm terrible at guessing prices, but I kind of want one.
How much did you spend for this Skeletor?
I wouldn't spend more, me personally, than like $100.
You're not going to get this.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's more than that, but I would not pay more than $100.
If you were willing to spend $100, you would need to find 9 other friends willing to spend $100 as well, because this is $995.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to share something with you. Same company. I want you to look at this Skeletor and Panther quarter scale maquette. Look at the price on that guy. $1,755. This guy is 32 inches tall, and I mean, there's some it's really cool. But I mean, I could either buy the Skeletor, or I could pay my mortgage.
Let me ask you this: how much did you pay for the Granada?
My father bought it for my sister for approximately $400. So 2 Granadas or this Skeletor polyresin maquette, which, I mean, come on. It is really cool looking.
It is really cool.
I did not see a He-Man equivalent. I don't know if there is one. But, I mean, that's just $9.95. Cool stuff.
I'd be curious if they had a Castle Grayskull.
They did not. They did not. Which, I mean, another really so much cool stuff that you could make, like the McFarlane company. Like, they should be the people that do that kind of stuff should be all over this. As I said, the merch for this movie might outsell the ticket sales.
Yeah, cash in on the nostalgia.
Seriously. With people like us that have like actual disposable money now, not like when we were kids, like, hey, Dad, can I have $1 to go to the store and get a candy bar?
Yeah.
All right, number 6. I saw this channel on TikTok, which is kind of interesting now. It's called Trade Off. So the Trade Off video I saw, your memory of any television show is erased, and you can watch it again for the first time. However, when you're done, you can never again ever watch any parts of it, any clips of it, anything dealing with it. Would you sign up for that? And if so, what show would it be?
I don't think I'd sign up for it in the first place.
I don't think I would either. But like, okay, so what show would be the leading candidate though if you did?
So, does it take me back to the time and place where I was like first watching it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I immediately thought of The Sopranos, because there's nothing like The Sopranos on television. And so, like, watching that for the first time in 1999, I was like, oh my God. Like,
Sure.
TV just got really good.
My first thought was Lost. Again, like, that's one of my favorite shows ever. So like seeing it again, like, and just, oh my gosh, they took Walt, or oh my gosh, what is that statue that they're not going to talk about ever again, or who is this lady who never gets, like, there was a lot of cool stuff there, but I will probably watch it again. So that was it.
Lost.
And last one, we kind of talked about this at the beginning, but you sent over a picture, so we're putting them on, man. Proud dad time here on Soup and Meatballs. Friday was a big night, man. Take it away.
Yeah, we've got a graduate in the family, Ryan. Graduated with the. It's funny because it's a very small school. They had right around like 55 graduates in the class of 2026, which is funny for us because you and I graduated with like 750.
I thought we were like more in the 500 range, but
yeah, well, now he's like in the 1,000 range.
Oh my, yeah.
The picture on the left is preschool graduation. That's like 2012. So He's like 4 there, showing a little bit of belly. And I'll give you a warning, since you'll have a graduation coming up next year. You're gonna be prepared for, like, the walking in with the cap and gown and all that. And that's not what gets you. But when they show that senior slideshow with like the old pictures, that's the killer.
That's where. Oh man. So yeah, we got time. That's way down the line. But congratulations to
start stealing yourself now for that.
Oh geez, I'm not ready for that at all. But what we are ready for, kind of, sorta, is draft time. And what I thought we could do, because I saw this picture on Facebook, like, really, I forget what time I texted you, but this is one of the latest drafts we've ever come up with. It was you have the $15 to build the ideal Michigan football team. My thought was we could draft. We still have to spend $15, but if you draft a player, I can't draft that player. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you got to be a little. I don't have anything written down, so it's going to be all off the cuff.
I only wrote down my ideal team.
Well, you'll what do we say? You'll adjust if you have to.
Yeah, I'll adjust.
So, number and color.
I'll go
for the first pick.
In honor of the graduate whose favorite color is red. I'll go red and I'll go 6 for the class of 26.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is in fact red. It's the Queen of Hearts, so be prepared there. This is the joint address to Congress leading to the declaration of war against Germany in 1917. President Wilson declared that not only had America's rights as a neutral been violated, but the world must be made safe for democracy. Americans must fight for the rights and liberties of small nations to bring peace and safety to make the world itself at last free. Sounds like something He-Man would do.
Let's talk this out.
Spoiler alert. So first pick, how much are you spending and where are you going?
I have $5 burning a hole in my pocket because I want Charles Woodson.
That's an absolute fair first pick. I don't think that would have been my first pick as well. Best defensive player on the board, Heisman Trophy winner. I don't know. I mean, I would say, yeah, you get him on offense and special teams too, because he's probably the best player on the whole list.
Yeah. So. Like I said, I put together my ideal budget here, and I knew if I was getting at least one $5 guy, that's where I was going.
So I'm gonna go the exact opposite route. I'm gonna try to save money on my first pick because the way I looked at it with the first pick, I was gonna take Woodson, but if I had the second pick, I was gonna take Jim Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh for $1, it just opens up so much down the road, and it also takes. I don't know if it doesn't take him off the quarterback rank for me. I'm not sure how he's the $5 quarterback, honestly, but whatever.
Well, I think it says in small print. You only get Harbaugh as a coach or a quarterback.
Yeah, but it's like you might be able to take him as a quarterback, is what I'm saying. Obviously, I will not take him as a quarterback, but as far as that, whenever I do one of these things, I look for value, and I think Harbaugh for $1 is crazy. I love me some Lloyd Carr. Obviously, Yost and Chrysler are legends. Schembechler at 5 is fine. Harbaugh should be 4. But I'm getting him for $1. So
yeah, I also had Harbaugh as $1 on my ideal budget.
If you're doing this where you can take anybody you want, I think Harbaugh and Woodson together just makes sense because they average out to $3 for you.
Right.
So where are you going with number 2?
So for my number 2, I'm going to go with a budget pick. Because I'm surprised he was only $2. I'm going to take Chad Henne as my quarterback.
Oh, that's a great pick. Yeah, and another. So you are in 7. When we did that talk with our top 5 Michigan quarterbacks of all time, Henne made both the lists.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great value. I don't know who made this list. Michigan Diehards on Facebook is where this came from. There's a group called Michigan Diehards. They put some weird stuff out there. Like, you got to wonder about them sometimes.
And it's funny, like you'd said about Schembechler for 5. Like that seems like a bad use of $5. No offense to Bo Schembechler, but
I think a lot of these 5. I mean, now on my second pick, I'm about to spend $5 because I need someone just as good on special teams. He doesn't play defense, but I'm going to take Desmond Howard as my go-to wide receiver. There's a lot of great receivers on this list. Honestly, you going with any of them, you're probably good, but I'm going to take the guy who also gives me a little bit of kick on special teams as well.
Yeah, Howard rather was in my ideal budget. I had 2 $5 guys. So I'll have to adapt from that because Desmond Howard's the guy who made me fall in love with college football.
That's there you go, right there as well.
All right, so I've used $7. I need a running back, a receiver, and a coach.
You do.
And Carr was $3.
Lloyd Carr, he's on the screen there. Lloyd Carr is in fact $3.
The print's too small for me.
Oh, that's fair. I can't make it bigger.
I'll take Lloyd Carr for 3.
Lloyd Carr, $3, leaving you have $5 left. And, you know, for a coach that won a national championship, I guess I feel Lloyd Carr is properly priced at 3. I could see where they have Fielding Yost ahead of him historically. Sure.
I thought Carr would be the $4 pick, just with the amount of success he had for as long as he did.
True.
And taking over after the Moeller years and bringing just
stability.
20 years of stability to that program.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. So now we're at a point where I think we're not fighting over positions anywhere except for tailback. So I get my first choice, and honest, I've spent $6 here. I don't think I'm going to be in trouble financially, but just based on my age, I'm going to take Wheatley for 2. And that's something, because I think Anthony Thomas was, in terms of favorites, Anthony Thomas was my favorite running back for a long time until Blake Corum kind of took over. Can you take Blake Corum for $0? Because how is he not on this list?
Well, and neither was JJ, which makes me wonder when the list was made.
That's a good point. I don't know. I just recently saw this week. This very well could be an old list.
So I will tell you that Tyrone Wheatley was also part of my ideal budget.
That's fair. I mean,
so keeping in mind that Wheatley's off the board, can you remind me who the 5, 4, 3, and
sure.
$1 option
So
is?
tailback for $5 you can get Mike Hart. For $4, Tom Harmon. For $3, Jamie Morris. Or for $1 you can get the A-Train Anthony Thomas.
I will go with the A-Train for $1.
I mean, that's for guys our age who, obviously didn't see Tom Harmon, might not have seen the best of Jamie Morris live. I loved Anthony Thomas.
Yeah.
And Mike Hart's the all-time leader in rushing for this team. So I understand him being 5. I wanted a bigger bruiser.
Right. And for me, as much as I love Mike Hart, I do need a wide receiver.
Do. So my 4, I need a quarterback and I need a defensive player. So I will go with. Oh man, this is. I'm going to go with a guy who I actually had a T-shirt, and he's $4. We're going to go with Lamar Woodley, guy I know. Made a shirt that said "Guns don't kill people, Lamar Woodley kills people," and on the back of the shirt, it had, instead of the schedule, it was the starting quarterback of the team on the schedule. I was like, that's a fun shirt, man, and
that is.
I wore the heck out of it. So I'll take Woodley for 4, giving me $3 left. You have $4 to choose.
Was it Braylon Edwards, the $4 receiver?
Braylon Edwards is $4. You're gonna go with Braylon?
Yeah, I'll take Braylon.
That's you spent all your money, which means my quarterback, I can either choose Tom Brady or Brian Greasy. And I don't think you can go wrong either place. I mean, Greasy won a national title, but I'll spend all my money. I'll take $3 for Tom Brady. He beat Alabama in the Orange Bowl. That's enough for me.
The Sean Alexander Alabama team.
Yeah, an Alabama team that had 2 14-point leads. Yeah. So your squad, Woodson, Henne, Thomas Edwards, coached by Lloyd Carr, and I've got Tom Brady, Tyrone Wheatley, Desmond Howard, Lamar Woodley, coached by Jim Harbaugh. I honestly think, like, when I see pictures like this, they're designed to be tough decisions. with no draft, who are your 5 guys that you're taking? Because I don't think these are hard decisions financially.
So my ideal budget was Henny at quarterback for 2,
Fair.
Wheatley at tailback for 2.
You're $4 and you've bought 2 guys already.
And then I went
$11 for 3 guys.
I went Howard, Woodson, and Harbaugh.
Yeah, that's. I think that's amazingly.
So two Heisman winners and a national champion coach, with Henny, who's in the record books, or was when he graduated. I don't know where he is now for yardage and touchdowns, and then Wheatley, who was like a track star / 245-pound running back who had a decent if short career for the Giants.
If you want to know about where Chad Henne falls on the list of all-time Michigan quarterbacks currently, that's with everybody taken into account, in terms of yards, this can't be true. I'm looking at the Sports Reference list right now, and I mean, do you know how many quarterbacks have more yards passing than Chad Henne?
In Michigan history?
Yeah.
Is he still number 1?
By far. 9,715 yards is 701 more yards than John Navarre. And, after John Navarre's at 9,014, Devin Gardner is third. He's got 6,336.
So he's a really good season.
Like that's incredible.
Well, Henny, he had good off. He was thrown to Manningham and Breston, and he was a guy who could sling it.
He was also in a good system. So
yeah,
so you're getting Chad Henne for $2. I love me some Jim Harbaugh, I do, but $5 for Jim Harbaugh, the quarterback. Interesting. Yeah, so there it is. Hey, good draft, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
No, top five. All right. I didn't see this live, but game 1 of the NBA Finals, some jackass kid runs out onto the court to get a selfie with Victor Wembanyama, who, to his credit, he smiled. But the kid didn't get his face. He just got like the advertisement on the Spurs jersey.
And it's funny in hindsight because everyone was safe. But for people of a certain age who can remember Monica Seles getting stabbed, or the first base coach who got beaten to the point of deafness in one ear when the father and son at the Royals White Sox game ran onto the field, like there's no guarantee that when someone gets onto the playing surface, they just want a selfie.
Yeah. So what I thought would be interesting and actually tough, because this list was not easy for me. Today we're going to look at the top 5 stupid things or stupidly irritating things fans do in the stands live at a sporting event. And I don't know if they're ranked or whatever, but for me, I'll start at what I have at number 5. And it's kind of what this kid did: interfere with the game in any way, whether it's running onto the field, running onto the court, but also if you're one of those idiots that has a whistle in the stands and you're just like blowing the whistle. I see this sometimes at high school games where kid is dumb and they blow. If you physically interject yourself into a game, listen, you're not Bobby the Brain Heenan, you're not Jimmy Hart with the megaphone. Just sit and watch. All right? Don't blow the whistle. You can cheer, yell, get the milk bottle with the coins like they did in Berwick. That's fine. But, running on the court or whistling, that kind of stuff, that's stupid. Don't do that.
So that is also on my list. Interfere with live play is what I have.
That's fair. Now, I do think the one caveat to this, foul ball, if you don't have to reach over the fence, if the foul ball is coming down and it's in your little zone, especially if it's your guy that hit it, fight for the ball. Like, don't reach over the fence. Don't Jeffrey Mayer it. But I always see this video of it was a Cincinnati Red who the fan like is going for the ball and he messes with the first baseman and the first baseman grabs his shirt like, yeah, you're a fan.
Yeah. My thought went to the World Series a couple years ago where the fan tried to take Mookie Betts' arm as a souvenir.
Yeah, that
and was proud of it.
Was subsequently ejected and banned from Yankee Stadium. So,
but he tried to turn that into like viral fame, like tried to monetize it.
Oh, oh, that's even worse. Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, get that out. Get that out.
So yeah, we can agree on that.
That's good. So I'll give you my number 4 then, and this is a personal thing. I haven't been to a game where this has been an issue. I've been to some game conventions where this is an issue. If you are sitting, especially in like a hot July game, if you are sitting in the vicinity of someone who has not exercised proper personal hygiene, like they haven't taken a shower and they haven't deodorized, and like it's July and like they're cooking in front of you, bonus points if the idiot takes their shirt off.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. There's got to be enough times. I've been in Yankee Stadium enough. The smell of the Bronx itself might overtake some body odor issues, but like, yeah, that can be potentially really hazardous, especially with idiots who take their shirts off.
And we can combine these. We can combine interfere with live play with this one to throw streakers into the mix.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, that wasn't on my list, but you'll see it sometimes at like golf for some reason gets like a decent amount of streakers. Soccer gets a lot of streakers.
Yeah, I can see soccer with the hooligans, but like golf, really?
Yeah, you'll get. There's a famous picture of a guy who's streaking on the green, and he has an arrow pointing down his back, and it has written 19th hole.
That's funny. I'm so juvenile though. No, you don't do that. Like the serious golf fan, like yeah, that's 19th hole. That's so bad. Yeah, but take a shower.
So I'm gonna go with a slight variation on that one, and that is fighting in the stands. Like when you see knuckleheads who just want to start throwing punches at each other, it's like, is life really that hard? Like just don't hit other people at a ball game. Like, oh, they're wearing a different colored shirt, supporting a different team.
Yeah.
Like it's a very low bar to clear. Just don't hit them.
I have this on my list. It's the number 1 thing actually because it's the first thing I thought of. The food fight. So I don't necessarily see like a lot of fisticuffs. I see a guy buying a $27 beer and dumping it on somebody because he's wearing the wrong color shirt. So yeah, same kind of concept, except you're going to spend $30 to do it, and you still end up. I forget if I was with you or if I was just with my dad or it was with somebody else. I was at a Yankee Red Sox game in the Bronx, and 3 or 4 people got escorted out of the upper tier in handcuffs. Like, you're going to buy a ticket to a game and you're going to get arrested because you're being an idiot like that physically with somebody. Yeah, that's number 1 on the list if I had to rank them.
Yeah.
That's as stupid as it gets. But it happens. And you know where it happens a lot? Like, not surprisingly, I hear about it more in football games than anything because, the emotional connection to a football team, it just seems like it's bigger than basketball or baseball. So it's not surprising that Philadelphia has a jail in the vet for Section 700 people.
You see it a lot in the cheap seats, I think, because the view of the game is so bad.
Do something to stay interested.
Yeah, it almost becomes like a side event.
Nah, it's absolute stupidity. What else do you got?
I'm going just with throwing stuff on the field. Whether it's throwing batteries at players, whether it's people who are throwing bottles onto the court or onto the field.
Where do you sit on throwing hats and or teddy bears?
If it's part of a celebration, so like hats for a hat trick, I'm yes.
Okay.
Or throwing like the octopus at the Joe Louis Arena, you know.
I think in Hershey, that was like the teddy bear thing. They did a bunch of that.
Yeah, like I'm in favor of that. But it's more like when people throw things in like anger or protest, or if they're trying to hurt an opposing player.
That's fair. So, like at Beaver Stadium, when the fans were throwing ice balls at Michigan football players.
Yeah.
Or I think that in Cleveland that was a big thing too. There was a snowball incident.
Well, because that's one of the famous clips where it was a Browns Bengals game. It was the old Riverfront Stadium. Sam Weish was the coach, and he gets on the mic and he says, "If you see someone sitting next to you, they're throwing snowballs, tell them to stop it. You live in Cincinnati. This isn't Cleveland. Act like it."
Amazing. That's stupid. I'm going to go with something that you and I witnessed firsthand at a Yankees Red Sox game, and it's this. Some kid sitting on their phone the entire game. Now, they were playing Pokemon Go. I don't know if you remember this.
I do remember. Was this 2015, the Ortiz retirement?
It was the Ortiz tour. This kid was playing Pokemon Go or something. And I don't know how much of the game he watched, but I can't imagine buying a ticket, even in the nosebleeds where we were, and just sitting on your phone the whole time. I can understand if I want to check ESPN, I want to check stats, or I can be on my phone for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. But like this kid was on it he basically bought a ticket to sit on his phone.
And he was like, to call him a kid, he was older. He wasn't like a child.
I don't remember.
He was like at least in his teens.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, but to me, I'm an old man, as we've established on the show before. He's still a kid. So
right, but like, I think it's different if it's like a 7-year-old kid watching something on like an iPad that maybe their dad brought them to the game and the kid's just not feeling it. I think it's different if it's like a 17-year-old who's just on their phone.
Yeah, I can see that.
My God.
I'm just picturing my daughter at a game with me, watching. She's into the Loud House now. Like, yeah, she's gonna get on YouTube Kids while I'm trying to watch baseball. That would still bug me. So yeah, don't sit on your phone the entire time. Check your email for 30 seconds in between innings, and call it a day.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that kid. Oh my God, the whole game. The whole game. For my next one, I'm gonna go, and there's a theme to mine of violence. But when you see fans try to provoke players, like whether it's slurs or just trying to get, like if it's physically touching a player.
That happened in Chicago either last year or the year before.
Yeah, but like trying to get like a physical reaction from the players.
There's
we saw with Lamar Jackson. A fan reached out from the stands and grabbed him, and he threw. Did he throw a punch?
I don't remember.
We saw it with DK Metcalf in Detroit.
Yeah. There's a guy, I think he resides in San Francisco, but he's got a TikTok channel where he heckles players, but he heckles them like in a weird way, like,
yeah, where he's
hey, Tim, you look like the kind of guy that wants to separate their M&Ms.
Yeah.
You bum.
You buy cracked eggs at the grocery store. Yeah, like.
I love that guy.
Yeah, that is good fanning. That's
the right way to do it. What you're saying with what happened with the fan in Chicago using slurs or like grabbing players, yeah, I'm with you there. That's
or like I've seen things like Jalen Duran's had like mental health issues. There have been fans who've mocked him over a suicide attempt.
Not cool. Not cool at all. And that'll kind of lead me into my last one that my dad and I experienced in Pittsburgh. We were sitting, and there was this guy cheering for the Pirates. Now, that's annoying in and of itself, I guess, but
within the rules.
That he was really loud, and he wasn't overly funny, but he was cheering for his team. A lady in our section called the usher over and complained that he was cheering. So, like, if you are complaining to the usher that, like, you're trying to be the police of the fans, he wasn't saying anything inappropriate. He wasn't like there was kids around, and it was kid friendly. He wasn't as funny as the guy from San Francisco, but he was just loudly cheering for his team, and a fan has to go out and yuck that yum. Don't be the police unless you have to. Like if the guy is saying stuff like you just mentioned, sure. But like, know where you are in the world. You're at a baseball game. You're not at the opera. You're allowed to yell. You're allowed to cheer. You're allowed to have fun. You're not allowed to be a jerk, which is what your fans were doing. It made me want to like tell the usher, get her out of here. And you could tell her husband or like the guy that was with her was completely embarrassed. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Stop this! Like this is lunacy. This guy's just it was." Don't be that late. It's just the first Karen I think I was ever exposed to.
Was she related to the umpire from the quick hitter?
Probably. It might be her mom. It might be his mom. Miserable lady. No fun whatsoever.
I've never encountered that, but
True story.
I believe you because people are terrible. So my fifth
people are in fact terrible.
My fifth one is kind of like an extension of something that can be done in the stands, but it's more it's rioting after a win or a title.
The riot now, like the burning of the couch, the destruction of property, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I'll even extend it to when the Eagles won Super Bowl 52, and there was a gentleman who ate horse poop in the streets.
Listen, if you're going to climb the light posts to the point where they have to grease them when you're in the Super Bowl, as long as there's no damage done, climb away. That's fine.
I used to climb light poles as a kid, and I wasn't drinking. I wasn't celebrating anything.
I didn't think of that, the post-game situation. I did think of storming the court or storming the field. I think that can be fine. I also think that if like you're Notre Dame and you beat Miami this year, like you probably shouldn't storm the field. Like that's a different story. Like a major upset, I dig that. But you kind of show off like, should Michigan storm the field if they beat Minnesota? Like, no. Like, know your place. But yeah, the physical destruction, there's no place for that.
Yeah. And don't eat horse poop.
I mean, I know what kind of protein is in horse poop, but
or poop in general.
How drunk would you have to be to eat horse poop?
Oh,
I don't think I've ever been that drunk.
I've
eaten some garbage, like sheets in the morning. Let's get that straight. But never.
I've DoorDashed. But yeah, horse poop. No idea.
Not on the menu, huh?
No. Well, that's because I'm Mr. Smarty Pants.
Of course. a wonderful transition segue into our Mr. Smarty Pants segment. I've got a question and a list. I really don't like your chance with the list, but it is what it is. And the question I think is it's a fair one. Okay. I knew the answer to this, but we'll see if you do. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. In the Masters of the Universe movie, at the beginning, when Adam's doing his talk of Eternia, he talks of Eternia having dragons. In the cartoon, who was the oldest and wisest of the Eternian dragons?
I have no idea.
They had a whole episode based on him. They needed his help, and he said, "I will help you if you go and." I forget what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to kill somebody. And He-Man's like, I can't do that. I'm not killing anybody. This is a kid's show. The dragon's name is Granomir.
Wow.
He was a big red dragon. The animation was, straight up 1984. His name was Granomir. So there you go. List-wise. What's that?
I said I was stumped.
Yeah, well, it'll happen sometimes. List-wise... This is another one. I think this is going to be a stretch for you.
Okay.
During the peak of He-Man action figures, they've made a lot of different characters, well over 200, still growing now. However, during the initial release from 1982 to 1988, there were 10 unique and distinct He-Man characters. So specifically, this guy, the He-Man head, was on 10 different unique bodies. How many of them can you name?
Was Ram Man unique?
I pulled Ram Man up. Where are you, Ram Man? No, I mean like they're actually like He-Man. Like this is Ram Man. This is He-Man.
Oh, I thought you were
like
saying there were like.
Oh no, there were a lot of there was over 200 different characters. Shoot,
Right.
like
I
the
thought you were
movie
saying
itself.
like.
We got some Beast Man. We got Spikor. I have this guy who didn't get enough airtime, but I got some Triclops. No, I mean like actual He-Man.
Like distinct.
He-Man guys.
Okay.
Like so, it's like specialty He-Man. They just want an excuse to sell more He-Man.
Oh,
Not listed. Not listed is the Prince Adam who has the He-Man head.
Right, because I was going to say like Prince Adam and He-Man are two distinct, different versions of the same guy.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, I'm just me playing with toys now.
I don't know that I could. Mechanic.
And the last one who was in the movie was our friend the Sorceress.
Yeah.
Complete with wings that like deflate and inflate again. It's wild. Oh, you can't give me any He-Man.
I don't think I can. I don't remember like owning any distinct.
Well, here, I'll show you the full version of him now. This is one of the distinct ones.
Okay.
Remember this thing? Well, here, let's get this. Let's make me a little bigger here.
Yeah.
So this is, and you'd hit him with the axe. Oh! This was Battle Armor He-Man.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, that's too bad. So there's Battle Armor He-Man. The first one, I mean, original He-Man. He was listed as the original He-Man, 1982.
Yeah.
I had played with that He-Man figure to the point where, so like the legs are held on by like this string or this rubber band, and the leg snapped off. And I went to talk to Santa about it. It was Christmas Eve, and like I told my dad, like we were at a Christmas party. I'm like, Dad, I didn't go see Santa yet. And he's like, oh, it'll be okay. I'm like, no, you don't understand. He might bring me the wrong He-Man. He might bring me Thunder Punch He-Man, which is another one. I don't want Thunder Punch He-Man. I need original He-Man, and I need to tell him that. So my dad, the dad that he is like, all right, let's go to the mall. He leaves this Christmas party to take me to the Laurel Mall, and I sat on Santa's lap, and I'm like, look, focus, lock in now, Kringle. I need original.
Get a pen and paper, old man.
Write this out. So original He-Man, and original He-Man showed up that year. So those are three of them: original, Battle Armor, and Thunder Punch. Those are the ones I knew. But now, are you ready for some of these?
Yeah.
I really wish we could do like a screen share, but I'm not going to risk losing the stream on it. Flying Fist He-Man.
Boy, they
that
really
was a
loved.
thing.
There's a theme.
Terror Claw He-Man, and I remember he had like this big weapon like Clawful. And now some of these I've never heard of. This is why I thought it was kind of unfair. Laser Power He-Man. That was 1988, so that was like I had aged out of He-Man, I think.
Yeah, I was already into like starting lineups.
Wonder Bread He-Man. Wonder Bread had a mail promotion where I guess if you send like 10 proofs of purchase or whatever it is, they sent you the Wonder Bread He-Man.
Okay. What made him special?
I don't know. I'm going to look him up though. Wonder Bread He-Man. Let's do an image search. Okay, I mean, he's a thing. He has black armor, and he just has black armor to him. So weird. So weird to look at. You can buy the Wonder Bread He-Man figure on eBay currently. The asking price, $4,799.99.
Jesus.
That is insane. Well, there's no bids on it, so let's not think anybody's spending that, but that's crazy. So that's Wonder Bread He-Man. 2 international releases, Savage He-Man and Rotar He-Man. Never heard of them. And then the last one was Megator-sized promotional He-Man. I don't know what that is either. But the three of them that I would have gotten Thunder Punch, I would have gotten Battle Armor, and if I would have remembered to think original He-Man, just from telling Santa. So.
Wow. Well,
you'll learn a little bit here on Soup and Meatballs about Battle Armor He-Man, who
I have a
he's
question.
Definitely used. You can tell. Oh boy.
I have a question and a list for you.
Oh boy, here comes Mr. Noodlehead.
I'm Mr. Noodlehead. I didn't know anything this week. Which would you like first, your question or the list?
Oh, good question.
Okay. Which is the smallest city by population to have multiple pro sports teams in North America? So of the four major NHL, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball.
Like Columbus wouldn't count because
they only have the Blue Jays.
Soccer team isn't like Big Four.
Right. So the four major North American sports. What is the smallest city to have at least two? So multiple pro sports teams.
Can we count Sacramento?
That's a good question. I don't know if they counted Sacramento for this since it's a temporary home for the A's.
Yeah.
But Sacramento is probably bigger than the city that is the answer anyway.
Okay, fair. How about Salt Lake City?
It is Salt Lake City.
Hey, look at that.
That is well done.
I think I would have started with San Antonio, but they don't have anything else.
San Antonio is actually a really big city. It's top 10 in America.
Oh wow, top 10.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like New York, LA, Houston, Chicago, Phoenix.
Well, I'm basing my thought on media markets, and San Antonio, in terms of media markets, is 31.
See, I just saw a population ranking that it was like San Antonio and Dallas were from Texas, and it was like San Jose.
And so they're throwing Dallas in there as well. So TV markets are based on population, but I mean, they probably separated Dallas and San Antonio because Dallas is number 4. Dallas is with Fort Worth. Hagerstown, where I saw the movie, is number 8 because it's in the Washington, D.C. market.
Right.
So, it goes New York, L.A., Chicago, Dallas. Philly is 5. I think Philly used to be 4, so there's a switch. Houston is 6. Atlanta 7. D.C. 8. Boston 9. And then they have a triple San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose at 10.
Yeah, Philly and Boston are no longer top 10 in terms of population. Like San Jose, San Diego.
Yeah, that's where TV markets bring in the suburbs as well.
Yeah.
But no, so Salt Lake City, where does Salt Lake City fall in this? They fall number 28 in media market. So, how about Las Vegas? Las Vegas is 40. They've got the Knights and the Raiders.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Soon to have
40. They have 41. New Orleans has the Pelicans and the Saints. Their media market 50. Buffalo. How about Buffalo? The Bills and the Sabres.
Yep.
I'm glad. I mean, I got it right according to that, but I don't know, man. We might have to do some vetting on this question.
Yeah, Salt Lake City was the answer that I got, just in terms of population, though, not media market.
Okay, that's fair. Hey, I got it right though. I'll count it. And getting down on the list here, now I'm into the hundreds, where you got Fargo and Lansing, Eugene, Oregon, Corpus Christi, Texas, Sioux City. They got a good sarsaparilla, from what I hear. Hit me with the list.
All right. So we have not discussed Myles Garrett was traded this week.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm a terrible person. How did I not bring that up? Because the Bear Stadium took over my head.
Yeah, Myles Garrett now with the Rams. He is tied for 20th all time in career sacks. Would you care to guess? So he's tied. There are more than 20 because there are a couple other ties. Would you care to guess who's in the top 20 currently for career sacks all time in NFL history?
I can probably get a couple of these. Bruce Smith.
He's number one with 200.
Where's Reggie White?
He's number two with 198.
They didn't track the stat when he started, but did LT make the list?
LT is tied for 15th with 132 and a half. And the stat did not start until 1982, so that's an important distinction.
Well, one of the Watts. Let's go TJ Watt.
What if I told you that neither Watt is in the top 20?
Amazing. How about, oh boy. I mean, Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas is 19th with 126 and a half.
On the list. How about Richard Dent?
Richard Dent. I know he's on here. He's tied for 11th with 137 and a half.
Cool. Why am I got him? Kevin Green?
He's third with 160.
That's a longevity thing, I think.
He did it for a while.
I think some of the recent guys probably have to be up there, like someone like Aaron Donald.
Not on the list.
Not an edge guy. All right. How about somebody like Khalil Mack?
Not on the list.
Not okay. I'm going for like 15 to 20 right now. Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan is sixth with 141 and a half.
Okay.
So you got 7.
Yes. I don't feel bad about that. Now you're gonna start listing off these names and like, oh yeah, I remember him. Oh yeah, of course. Boy, no. Probably not. But how about something like Warren Sapp?
Not on the list.
You can't think defensive tackle.
Yeah, I can tell you. Well, no, I can't tell you that.
I don't think they've been around long enough. They're always unhealthy. I don't think it's a Bosa.
No Bosa. Both of those guys are not on the list.
Most of them out. I mean, not a guy like Pat Swilling, collected quarterbacks like trophies.
He collected a lot of trophies, but not enough to be on this list.
Yeah. All right, I'm not going to.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not going to sit here and and for another minute here. So, hit me. Who do I miss on?
Number 4, someone who played for Chicago and played well, Julius Peppers with 159 and a half. Number 5, you remember him well, a guy in division for you, Chris Dolman with 150. Number 7 was Jason Taylor of the Dolphins with 139 and a half. 8 was Terrell. 8 was Terrell Suggs with 139.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have a tie. What's that?
Wasn't he Baltimore? I thought of Miami, but for some reason the only name from Miami I could think of was John Offerdahl. Baltimore didn't pop into my head.
We have a tie at 9, DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, who's still active.
Okay, yeah.
With 138 and a half. I was going to say there are no defensive tackles on the list until I got to this guy who's tied for 11th, John Randall.
Okay.
He's tied with with 137.5. A guy who was just inducted, Jared Allen, with 136. A guy no one ever thinks of for these types of lists, former Falcon John Abraham, with 133.5.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time, Obi-Wan.
Here's another one, former great Charger Leslie O'Neal, with 132.5. Another guy who did it for a long time who never gets thought of on these lists, Cameron Jordan with 132. Pat Swilling not on the list, but Ricky Jackson is with 128.
Really? Okay.
And Myles Garrett is currently tied with the pride of Syracuse, Dwight Freeney, with 125.
Dwight Freeney. Okay. So I would look at the list, kind of like do the Kevin Durant point watch, like how many sacks does he need to move up to? Like if he finished the year with 15 sacks, which is a good year, where does that put him on the list? Where does he move up to?
He would be just under Strahan for number 7, because Strahan has 141.5. If he had 15, Garrett would have 140.5.
I think 15 it's a fair.
He had 23 last
year. I'm not asking
year.
for 23 out of him.
So if he has 15 for the next 2 seasons, he would be 4th all time. And then, from there, he's within shouting distance of Bruce Smith. He would only be 50 away in his early 30s.
I think that's doable. So we should put the Myles Garrett watch in effect. Good deal. Good deal. I'm happy I got the question right.
Yeah, that was well done.
I feel like Grandemir the Wise. So we keep 5, cut 5. You said you had to come up with something, did you?
I did.
Excellent.
We've been talking a lot about He-Man, one of the more homoerotic cartoons of the 80s. We are in June. It is Pride Month. This is a Keep 5, Cut 5 of icons in the queer community. He-Man not on the list, but could be.
Oh, he could be. All right.
He could have been, but I can tell you he's not one of the 10.
Okay, that's fair. I'm trying to. This is Roboto might be the most rainbowy thing I have here. Not including this guy who, whatever. Sure. Let's go with number 2.
Number 2 is Mr. Elton John.
Elton John. Oh boy. So when I was a kid, I can remember watching VH1, and the song "I Don't Want to Go Onto You Like That" was like one of the first videos I remember, and the keyboarding was it was just really cool. And I'll tell you what, my father-in-law, who is an organist in a big wig in the piano community, tickling the ivories and whatnot, a big Elton John fan. I'm going to keep Elton John, man.
All right.
I like that, and you know what was really cool was the duet that he did with Eminem. I mean, he did Stan, and because there was a whole thing about whether Eminem had anti-gay comments or whatever it was, and that was a neat little thing that they did. So, and the fact that like this guy dresses like the pimp of the year from How Men Get Your Sucker wakes up like that.
And he's shown remarkable commitment to that terrible haircut. Just has not changed it in decades. That's
I don't know. I'll have to take your word for it, because when I think of Elton John, I think of the weird glasses. That's his haircut. He kind of looks like Conan O'Brien in that picture. A little bit. So, okay, that's one keep. Let's go with number 4. Go with the even numbers.
Number 4. It's not just one person. There's a value pick. You get 5 people. It's the kids in the hall.
Oh, this is keep all day. Oh my gosh, keep all day. When we had the 1 week off from school, and like we were kind of exposed to this sketch comedy group. I mean, from these are the Daves I know to
Chicken
I hate
Lady.
this. Chicken Lady loves life. Oh my gosh, man! And some of the jokes I think went over our heads at 13, but you know, my son Derek just turned 17. He's going to be 18 years old in November, and he should sit and watch his dad get pathetically drunk.
But only after
I
you
want to
peruse
peruse
his report card.
I want to peruse his report card. No, that's oh my goodness. That it's funny now. Like we saw that when we were 13. Gosh, that's 30 years ago.
That was Christmas break in 1992. I remember.
Amazing stuff. Good stuff. I just used this phrase with Jen yesterday. I said the words, "I'm trying to give you money." That's not such a bad thing, is it? Oh, that's yeah. So yeah, like 2 keeps right off the bat. Forget about it.
All right.
Let's go with number 6.
Number 6. Universally beloved, Dolly Parton.
I have nothing bad to say about Dolly Parton, but I have nothing good to say about Dolly Parton. She exists in the world. I remember what I knew of her growing up from a physical standpoint. The high school that I work at just did 9 to 5 the musical. It was fine. It wasn't anything super awesome. So, again, nothing bad to say about Dolly, but I'm going to cut her.
All right, Dolly, you've been cut.
Sorry. Nothing against her. I'm not a country guy. So let's go with number 8.
Number 8, maybe the greatest voice in rock history. It's Freddie Mercury.
Oh, man. And this is me, not a Queen fan, but there's a lot of Queen stuff out there that is really cool. The whole concept of the connection with Flash Gordon and the
Gordon,
feeling
the He-Man movie. Yeah.
He-Man movie. I watched the movie, and I don't know how accurate the movie was, like Bohemian Rhapsody. Like,
yeah. I didn't love that movie. In fact,
I didn't. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep Freddie Mercury in the hopes that he wasn't as much of a douche as they portrayed him in the movie. Does that make sense?
My issue with that movie is all the surviving members of Queen. It was like, oh, Freddie's gonna go off and have a drug-fueled orgy. We're gonna go home and read the Bible now. Like, it's easy to just besmirch your late, band member and make yourself look better in comparison. I wonder how true that actually is, though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm going to hope that he wasn't as diva-rific as they put him off to be. But I mean, the music, that'll speak for itself for me. So I mean, I have Elton John and Freddie Mercury. I don't need a Dolly Parton. I don't feel bad. But I can only
kids in the hall. They can dress up as Dolly Parton.
There you go. It's about that. We'll finish off the evens here with number 10.
Number 10 is John Waters, director of Hairspray, and did the voice of the shop owner in the episode where Homer's a homophobe on The Simpsons.
Oh, okay. So it's the Homer Simpson gay turn was a lot funnier than the Peter Griffin gay turn. But I don't know enough about John Waters. He's an easy cut.
All right, John Waters, you've been cut.
Nothing bad to say about him, but I don't know him enough. So we're going to work our way backwards. Odd-wise, we're going to go with number 9.
Number 9 is more on this list for sort of like an ambiguity to him, a little androgyny, and that would be Prince.
Prince he's a keep, if for nothing else, that when he beats me in basketball, he'll make me pancakes. I'll say this, as not a big fan of his music in the 80s, the Batman Party, I think it's called Party Song. I thought that was really cool back in the day. And now, after watching Stranger Things, I can't listen to Purple Rain without crying. So Prince will now, because of the multimedia or the pop culture that he was involved in, will elicit some kind of emotion out of me. So I will keep Prince and his androgynous outfits.
If they play Purple Rain during the senior slideshow at Derek's graduation, you're honored.
I will not hold it together for that at all. You can count on that.
So you
So
only
I can
have
only
one
keep
keep.
one more out of the last 4. So I mean, we'll see. Number 7.
Number 7 is Anderson Cooper.
I can cut him and not feel bad. I don't. His New Year's Eve drunkenness has gotten old for me. Like it's whatever. Reporting is fine. I have no problem with him on CNN and doing the things he does. But he's Dick Clark was never a main network anchor. So if Dick Clark went out and got drunk, it would be one thing. If you are trying to be the face of news and the face of New Year's Eve, that they don't work for me. And I understand that like you have a life outside of the news, but you don't see David Muir out there partying it up on New Year's. He might be at a party. I'm sure he is, but he's not live in the living color getting blasted. And I think that's like the running joke now on New Year's Eve. Like, how drunk is Cooper going to get? So.
I think a lot of it is Andy Cohen getting Anderson Cooper drunk.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, I'm going to cut Cooper. I have one keep left, and it's not going to be Cooper. So
all right,
let's go with number 5.
Number 5, it's the Material Girl. It's Madonna.
Does she really have a lot of ties to the community?
Oh my God, yeah. Like
I just remember her with a bunch of dudes in the 80s.
Yeah, like her whole Vogue phase.
She made didn't she make a movie that was basically underground pornography?
Yeah, and a book.
There was with women, huh? Okay. She's got the Italian Catholic ties to Michigan too. I'm curious about who 1 and 3 are. So I will begrudgingly, based on the fact that I can only keep 5 of them, I will cut Madonna, but it is a hard cut. I feel bad about this. I didn't feel bad about Cooper or Waters. This is the first feel bad.
All right,
let's go with number 3.
Number 3, talk about androgyny. He might have invented it in modern pop music. David Bowie.
Jen might get mad at this, but I'm going to cut David Bowie. I would resonate more with Madonna than with David Bowie. She loved David Bowie though. She would have definitely kept him. So let's see what the kid feels about the old number 1. Who am I keeping by default?
You are keeping Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I feel bad about Madonna more.
See, I think Lady Gaga is better than Madonna.
I don't need my pop stars wearing pork products. I think that's kind of weird. Oh, you do.
It's kind of a prerequisite for me. That's why I'm such a Springsteen fan.
I need a bacon bra. There she is. Hey, little girl. She's heading out. I think the only one that I would change is I would have kept Madonna and cut Lady Gaga. Otherwise, I feel really good about the 5 I have.
Yeah, Gaga, John, Kids in the Hall, Freddie Mercury, Prince. That's a strong starting 5.
I'll take it. You have a choice here. It could be a difficult choice. I don't know. Start bench cut of really cool swords. Oh. You have to start bench or cut either the Sword of Power, which is the He-Man sword, the Sword of Omens, which was the Thundercat sword, or I couldn't think of another cartoon sword, so I threw in Excalibur. I didn't know what the Voltron sword was named, and I think Excalibur is more is bigger anyway. So
Excalibur means nothing to me. I didn't watch any 80s cartoons about King Arthur. So I'm going to start He-Man, and I'm going to bench Thundercats.
That's fair. I started for this is actually supposed to be a key. I don't know if you knew that. The Sword of Omens was also an option, but I'm with you, man. Good deal. Anything after this? Oh, I don't have a build your squad. I could set one up if you'd like.
No, I think my bladder's saying.
Oh, it's about that time. It's p o'clock. We're 2:40 in, so wow, that's good show.
Yeah.
I thought that the in-depth discussion on He-Man was some of our best in terms of pop culture.
I think it's some of the best you find anywhere.
I'm really embarrassed that I didn't write anything down about Myles Garrett being traded. That should have been a top story almost anywhere else. That the NBA Finals isn't happening.
And just because it's interesting to me, part of the trade was the Rams sent Jared Verse to Cleveland. Jared Verse of Bloomsburg. He went to Central Columbia High School. He was always a great kid to deal with. It seems like he's stayed very humble and down to earth as a pro. It sucks to see him lose out on a chance to maybe play for a Super Bowl with the Rams. And
you feel worse for a guy in a trade.
What's that?
Could you feel worse for a guy in a trade? You're going from Los Angeles in that situation to Cleveland.
Yeah. Hopefully, either they can build something in Cleveland or he can move on to a better situation. So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what his contract detail is, but if Cleveland had a longer term plan at quarterback, they might be in a decent position, but they don't. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is the answer, and you to see if they're bad enough to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes, or if that's the answer, I don't know. But Jared Verse is a really, really good athlete. When the pundits or the people who think they know what they're talking about were talking about this trade, I don't think they gave him enough credit for being like the centerpiece of this is what Cleveland really wanted in return outside of picks.
Yeah, former defensive rookie of the year, all pro type guy, like a game breaker type guy, like capable. We saw it last year. I mean, end of the year against Atlanta, he returns a blocked kick for a touchdown. He can do that kind of stuff where he's just an athletic freak at 250 pounds, where he can outrun people on long splash plays. The Browns got a player. And I think he's only in his fourth year.
What? I'm going to get into it now. Your bladder be darned. Browns trade Garrett. What did they get? In return, Jared Verse, a 27 first-round pick, a 28 second-round pick, and a conditional third-round pick. So now here's the problem with Cleveland. Cleveland was really just they're still suffering the ill effects of the Deshaun Watson trade.
Yeah,
that really set them back a while. So these three picks, we'll see what comes out of it. Like you said, Verse just a really good player. But Myles Garrett in Los Angeles, how tough. We're going to start with the NFC West. Holy cow, that division just got really hard to pick because there's three teams at the top. It's very top heavy.
Yeah, probably the best division of football when you're talking about the defending Super Bowl champ, the prohibitive Super Bowl favorite this year, and the Niners are pretty good too.
I don't think there's a question. They're better than the NFC North. But that is for next week. That is what we'll dive into.
And the AFC South. Let's not give short. Between the Texans, the Jags, the Colts started hot last year. The AFC South is a pretty good division.
I don't think they're anywhere near the NFC North or the NFC West.
I'm not saying they're near it, but I'm saying
it's a tight division, but it's at the top. I think compared to the teams at the top of the other divisions, I think you're looking at mediocre is the wrong word.
I think
but above average.
I think the AFC South and the NFC North can have a conversation about who's the second best division of football.
Wow, that's a scorching hot take for the end of the show. For those of you who've hung with us the whole time here on YouTube. We will let that stop and simmer because we got to let this guy go to the bathroom. We don't have any commercial breaks here on Super Meatballs, so this man's got to pee.